All right, all right.
It's happening. It's happening. All right. All right. See everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Reshade it. I'm gonna raid Beavis here.
Hey guys, I'm just setting up. Give me a second. I should also turn on sound because I turned off sound completely in this game. And I'm also hearing myself, so yeah, gotta. Why do I have shield on? Okay, shield is off, so people can finally chat. Let me test this. Hey, hey. So this is. I'll show you the website for this place. It's called 13 Thrones. Oops, where's my keyboard? I have too many systems in front of me, and I often confuse what I have connected my keyboard and mouse to. I'm sure a lot of nerds out there like me have a similar issue. So this is the way to join the game is you just go to this website and it's made very simple. You just have to like basically get one file. You go to connecting files and setup, and you click here, and you can even do that as you're watching me stream if you want to try this out and see if it's something that you would like to play. I mean, it's a little bit like a retro game, a little bit. All you need is this file here, and it's auto patcher, so it's going to download everything that you need to play the game. So you don't need to do anything. It's just this thing here. It's going to download everything. It's going to verify files, and it's going to also keep doing updates. Because the cool thing about this world is that the developers keep doing updates and keeping everything really fresh. So I'm also gonna shout out to Drathy, which is a very cool dude that's very much like myself, a web developer from the '90s. So I don't know how to put up his stream. 1 second, or you can just follow him in chat. Like he responded in chat, so you can just go follow him. If anyone is actually from my own viewers here, um, given that he just rated me, so it's mostly his own viewers just listening in about himself. So yeah, so this is how to join this game, and I'll show you how what it looks like in the game once you have a character. So you'll need to do is just go here and get this executable, this thing right here. It's just called Requiem, and it has everything you need inside of it. And once you have that, then this is the patcher. That's what the patcher looks like. It's going to download everything that you need. If you download everything on patch day, because a lot of other people are getting their patches, it might be slow. So it's good to do it like, because it's a smaller project. We don't have like huge servers to service a bigger community. But if you do, just leave it on. It's going to eventually finish. If join in on patch day and everyone is getting their patches and updates and map updates. Um, so this is the kind of character categories that you have in the game, and there's quite a few of them. This is very customized part of UO that it's almost not really UO anymore. It's a very custom world where a few things have stayed the same, like the classics like archery, fencing, blah blah blah. But then how each skill operates and all the kind of mechanics of fighting are very different in this game. There's also this thing called animus, well, which you can see in your main codex. It's like this book that tells you everything about your character. And here you can also see or even edit your character's descriptions of what other players will see if they, this is actually this tiny thing here is your avatar. This is my avatar. I'm playing. I'm on the value. So if you like click on another player in the world, you get the option of like looking at them, and by looking at them, then you can see what the player has entered as a description. And here you can see that my character is at the end of his 20s. That you couldn't call him tall, like he's above average in height and weight, and he looks not bad, or maybe it's just the youthfulness. Like playing a character that's like some people write a character that's way too, I don't know, pretty, way too super in all dimensions. But I think it's more fun to role play a character that has quirks about them that is not necessarily beautiful, that's not necessarily, I don't know, like you can do both sides. Like I played a character that was revolting, and he was a tailor that was very selfish and very much into just making coin, and that was a different playstyle altogether. But this character is a bit of I don't know, a bit of survivalist slash community person slash defender, for the most part anyway. And he was a member of like a local big army legion tasked with like defending this realm and stuff like that, and try to keep people alive. Keep people alive because in this game called Requiem or 13 Thrones, there's like a pandemic that's been going on even before the pandemic, and in the game this is called the Torment, and the Torment is actually, even in mechanics, it's something that I don't remember which tab it's under. I think it's under Mind. Yeah. So you have like a sanity mechanic where if you get in contact with this disease, the Torment, it might actually influence your character and make them insane, which then also influences the way that you're supposed to play your character. So if your character has like I don't know, like if you remember the old Drathy, yeah, it's pretty active. There's like 20, 30 people, and even more online during the US time zone playtimes. The EU time zone is a bit more dead, sadly, and I'm trying slowly to build the EU time zone, and it's not easy. Yeah, so what was I saying? So yeah, so you have this Torment thing. Oh shit, I'm not getting audio from my capture card for some reason. Give me a second. Or am I am getting audio, but it's not playing the in-game music maybe. Huh. Interesting, interesting. Maybe we'll just use some background music so it's not only my voice. What we have, the free royalty music, whatever I usually use. Some of it is really bad though. Hopefully we'll choose something decent. Anyway, so that should cover our background sound. I'm setting up the stream as we go. Oh, and I also had turned down. I had turned down the input from my capture card. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, right. So as I was saying, so you have this really very cool kind of disease and disease mechanic in the game that makes everything dark. And you also have you have magic in the game. Of course, it's a fantasy world, and in this world, magic influences how things work in the world, and it might be true that magic is causing or making the pandemic kind of become much worse. So in this case, that the literature is true, and in fact the torment or magic use of magic is influencing the pandemic. You see how all these things are connected and influencing characters in the real world. So of course, you can join. I wouldn't recommend joining and playing a magician right off the bat, because first off, magic is of course illegal. So if it's known that you practice magic, I will show you what happens, and I'll show you around. This is I took off all my armor because there's this mechanic where instead of healing potions, you have this idea called grit. And in order to regain grit, all you need to do is for your character to go into a place like a tavern and just chill out with other people and just rest. And then you have this grit meter here, so you have like max grit right now. So I can use my scripts and put on his armor again. Let's see. So we have this armor here, and he's using this medium armor, like studded leather, because that causes much less what do you call it, penalties. You have a lot of penalties by wearing armor to your dexterity and stuff like that. But you also have some boons. You have like like this armor is giving this character a bit of a HP bonus. And another way to get an HP bonus is the survival system. So you have like a full survival system. Your character actually needs to eat and drink to survive, and then you have like your hunger meter, which is like right now 98%. You have your thirst meter, which is like 72%. So this is like one of the factions that my character is a member of the parish, and we have some drink and stuff like that. So we grab like some food to go, and also to inventory is like, you know, bags that you have like that. So it's a little more retro, but it looks really nice. Like it's, you know, if you're into retro games, this is like very well taken care of. The graphics and the feel. So what should we eat? So now each food has different benefits. Depending on what you want to do, you might want to like eat a particular food. So now we're just gonna try to find something. Like my character is an archer and a pole fighter, so he's using like halberds and bows, and you know things are two-handed pole arms and stuff like that. So we need something that gives dexterity, stamina, HP, or something like that. So maybe a chicken pot pie is the best food that we could eat to also have some to our fighting. Although I would have preferred to also get something in HP, because a lot of things out there are trying to kill you. Like this is after all Diablo, so on Diablo, which is Requiem, in other words, everything's trying to kill you, and everything's trying to infect you, everything's trying to poison you, and it's brutal, man. Like it's I'm a casual player, and sometimes I find this world a little too challenging. If you like challenges, though, welcome. You're gonna have fun. You have more fun than me. So now we're gonna just take you to what happens to you if you decide to play a magician, and you decide to be too open about this with people, and you just reveal that you're a magician on day one or like really early. So this is like the fort, what we call the fort. You can see like the map over here. I can just move my avatar down here, so you can see like this is like the whole map, and it's like the fort, and has like all these are walls, and there's like some moats here. It's a pretty nice design, I would say. So you have like very high security, because you have like this river that's flowing through, and you have like all these moats, and you have, you know, pretty thick walls, and on top of these walls you have guards and stuff like that. And the guard system is very interesting because it only covers certain parts of the town. So once you leave these certain parts of the town, you have like a semi-guard system, which is like, you know, like a semi-PvP area where things could happen to you. Someone could like, I don't know, bump you over the head and look into your back for things that they might want to enjoy. Oh, music is too loud. Shit, sorry. Let me turn that down a little bit. All right, let me know if the music is okay now. Sorry, I didn't read chat, so in-game sound effects too. Oh shit. Okay. One sec. Yeah, let's put that down to 60 and see if that's good. The in-game music, though, I don't know if it was playing because I can't hear it right now. I didn't have enough time to set up my own monitor, or I could like turn up a little bit the sound on my streaming laptop to be able to monitor this. Oh, I'll do this later. It's okay. We just passed this. Okay, welcome to the pyre. This is the pyre. This is what happens to you if you play a magic character and you are too open about it with people. You know, you get found out, and there's this faction in the game called the Vic, and they are very adamant about fighting the source of the plague and of the torment, and they will catch you and probably, you know, throw you in there, and your character will perma die. Oh, there's perma death in this game as well. I mean, it's harder to get your character killed outright. Like if you challenge your luck, so to speak, there's a chance you might actually, you know, die, like permanent death, and we call this chance for PD. So each time you die, the way that each time your character dies, the way that this world handles it is that you're knocked out, right? So you are in effect not fully not fully dead per se. You're just like knocked out. So your body is there. You could be revived. You don't have to like classic UO go to like a place where you are uh, reborn and stuff like that. So your body will stay there. Your soul will stay there attached to the body. And someone like I'm actually a field medic. I play a field medic. There's actually doctors in this game, so you could play a doctor. There's like even a skill that's basically doctoring, which is allopathy. And so if you're a field medic, I'm just as a field medic, I'm just using the classic UO skill, as you know, as anatomy, to use the in-game like this new mechanic of healing people by using your grit. And I completely maxed out in anatomy, which also allows me to roleplay and actually to be in actuality a field medic. So if you see another fighter out there fighting in the field, you can aid them. You can keep them alive. You can give them a potion to deal with poison, and keep them alive. But yeah, if that fails, then you're knocked out, which means that you're there and waiting for your body to like kick back into action, or waiting for someone to revive you. And there's like timers for both of these. So some good guy can come by and like revive you. Some bad guy can come by and like steal stuff from your pack and be like, well, you don't need these coins anymore. You don't need this ammo or whatever anymore. Or, oh, nice weapons. I mean, weapons are very important in this game, and weapons, like really good weapons, can be found, but most of the stuff in this game is actually created by other players, and it takes a lot of work to create really good. Oh, I should actually put away my coins at the bank before going hunting. So most of the really decent items in the game are created by players, and it takes a lot of resources like metals and wood and all the stuff like hides and all the things to put together. Let's say a bow requires being as realistic as possible in this game. A bow requires something to like keep the bow together, so you need like some sort of tendons from animals, which is what you get them from. So my character is also a hunter, so he does like skin animals and collect. I mean, he's not perfect in it. I just it's a secondary skill. I'm mostly focused in fighting this character, but you could have like a mixed character that's both a crafter and a fighter, and it gives you the option, and it gives you some free skill points to get at least some gathering skills are free and don't influence your overall skill points, like what you can spend your skill points on. So you have to gather everything and find a good crafter that's really mastered their craft and be like, hey, dude, can you make me like a supreme weapon? And then, of course, if you die and someone steals a supreme weapon, you are effed. So there's a bit of risk there. You don't want to die. You don't want people to be stealing stuff from your course, but it might happen, and you try your best to not have this happen, of course. But it's not always up to you. And I mean, you can be careful, but sometimes people come out of the shadows. They're rogue types, or like magicians can also like hide. And actually, I'm holding one item that magicians can use to like create spells, which I would rather not be found carrying this thing around. This is a power word. So the magic system in this game is very, very, very unique and custom, and very deeply rooted in the language of Latin. So you have like these Latin words that represent these Latin particles of words that represent different ideas of spells. And as a magician, you actually compose these together, and you have to really understand also a bit the logic behind it. And that's actually beneficial to you if you play magician. And playing magician, let me tell you, it's one of the most difficult things in this game. And it's one of the reasons I do not play magician. It's one of the reasons I let my magician die. Like, I didn't want to play him anymore. It was so much work. I mean, but if you're the type of player that you really like to be challenged in terms of mechanics, you really want to play a complex character, playing magician could be like your second option after like playing, I don't know, like a warrior type, or you could play like you could design like a bowman archer type, which is easier to play. And given that I'm a much more casual player now, I prefer to play this type, because if you play magician, you have to really know your stuff, and you have to do a lot of learning. You have to do a lot of math in your head. You have to do a lot of practice And then you have to learn this magic language in the game that actually is based on Latin and it actually has meaning to it. So, I mean, some of you old EO players, you remember some of the, like the power words that magicians would utter. Oh, there's another player there. I don't know what's his name. Let's check it there. Or is he like in this house? I don't know. Maybe this is in her house. Yeah, this is in her house. But let's say like we heard some noise and we're checking it. Actually, that's a nice house. I didn't know players could have this house. Okay, let's see. I'm knocking on the door. Okay, let's get the journal out there so you can see what I'm typing inside the game. Now let's move this guy up here. This is like your avatar, and you see like your what armor you have on and stuff like that, and what you're using. So I did some gentle knocking on her door, and this is like ignoring it, which is also an option. So it doesn't have to respond to me. It's like who the frick is knocking at my door at this time of day? I'm busy, can't you see? Oh, she has chicken. She's raising chicken. Oh my god. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna just turn down the AC because it's blasting me in the face. And get some more stuff because I really rushed to stream. I need to like get some audio monitor because I can't hear anything in the game. So it'd be good to actually hear some sound. All right. Where are my earbuds? Earbuds. Whenever I'm looking something, I can't find them. What is it with that? It's like you have some elves in your house, and they come and they hide the stuff that you need to find. When you want to find it, but when you don't need it anymore, it's like right in your face. It's right under your nose. And once you need something, it's like the elves. They know what you're gonna need, and they come and hide it. Like man, stop doing that shit. Or maybe I put it in my bag. Let's see. Yes, in fact, maybe. Oh yeah, I put it in my bag. All right. Okay, so we're about to have in-game sound. Or I can actually listen into the stream sound for a little bit to see if my audio levels are better. And thank you for the feedback, because one of the most annoying things for streaming, as you know, is figuring out what to set your audio levels at. So, yeah, so thanks for that. Okay, so now I heal my voice from the past for a little bit. Why don't I hear my voice from the past? Am I a time traveler now? What's happening? Come on, Twitch. Oh, I turned the sound all the way to 0. Okay, now that makes sense. I think I could turn up game sound a little bit more, or music sound a little bit more. I thought I had put a playlist on. Okay, let's put a playlist on. Let's set this up. What do we need? Clarity. Let's do clarity. We need clarity for this game, fam. It's a very complex game, even though it's free. Even though you think, oh, I wouldn't find the kind of complexity that you would get from paying $100 for a game. Actually, this is a game that's been in development for like a couple decades. Oh, someone else came by, and this person did not answer their door. Oh, I think I know this other person is called Thalia. I think I know where she lives. If you want to go interact with another person in character, so you see what roleplay is like. And actually haven't caught up with this person in a while. Oh, there she is. She's like chilling on the dirt road. So this is Thalia. So when you come across with someone, you can like open up their description and you see like what they've chosen to represent their character, like what they look like, and I can read this for you if you want. Like, before you stands a youthful woman around 5 feet 8 inches with long jet black hair that reaches past her shoulder blades and when let down normally held up in a bun. Her skin is a pale alabaster, and her eyes a frosty blue. Her build appears not particularly powerful, though lean and athletic. She's a badass fighter, actually. But she's wearing a Zester hat because it's feeling weird. I don't know. Anyway, so we're like opening this up with. I found this is like I found this hat on a dead guy. I love it. Okay, why not? That explains things. It's a bit of I don't know. Like I didn't used to wear Jester hat, so it's a bit weird. That's his, you know. Well, oh really? Happy to hear so. If true, I mean, I've been hunting, she says, a lot to make up for a lost coin. I hear you. So we're looking to the newcomer and saying hi to her as well. I don't know if I know her. I don't know if my character knows this. That's the thing. In roleplay games, you have to like respect that you don't know a person's name unless you ask your character asks for that name. You have to think that your character has his own memory, and this is different from your memory. So you have to create like your character's memory and try to remember what your character would know and try to separate as much as you can yourself from your character, which trust me, it's annoying, but it makes the game even more fun because you can be playing at some point you can be playing completely different characters that you cannot have in your real life, but you want to experiment what it would be like to play a particular character, what it would be like to play a criminal, what would it be like to play a rogue, and so on and so on. She was going for a cigar at the end for a bit before heading for another go. Okay, we can chill with her at the end. So the person was in a rush, so she just took off right away. I'm just gonna follow Thalia around. It's just like alt and click. You can just follow someone, and that gives you a lot more like freedom to not have to worry about moving your character. Especially if you're a streamer, this is perfect because you can just lay back and like I don't know, explain the game to you people, or whatever else. So Thalia is a friend of my character Amon's girlfriend, a very close friend of his girlfriend. But she's also kind of an interesting character type. She's like a bit recluse, a bit like, you know, like I don't know, not too integrated into society. And now she's asking if I have a place in mind to go hunting. I mean, we can start start a patrol in Iwella, which is like a place filled with zombies, more or less undead. There's quite a few places to hunt in this game to find like treasure and loot and coin and all that kind of stuff, which actually then you use to infuse into the game economy because everything is built by players. Houses are built by players, except for like some apartments that are pre-built or upgraded in downtown. But even those, if you want to expand, if you want to build them, you have to collect the resources and design them and then have them built for you, which is pretty cool actually. It says the Eldra are all locked up down there, hardly worth the time. If you ask me, can you pick the door locks? I am not the type to pick locks like a rogue type. I'm more like a full-on defender. Like archer slash portal fighter is definitely what my character template is like. So let me know if you have any more questions about the game. I can just answer the questions while I wait for stuff to happen. And I'm wondering what happened with the music. Like, Why do I hear nothing now? Like, is my capture card going bananas or what's going on? One second. I think I may have connected. Yeah, that makes sense now. Okay. So I destroyed my audio configuration because where's my audio? I was putting sound through my capture card, and then I took out my Bluetooth earbuds, and they connected automatically to everything. They took over, and now I see that maybe I need to. Oh, there we go. Okay, we can have some music. Let's try the clarity place. Looks interesting. I think I may have looked at this project long ago, why and it looks familiar, but now I must have it. Well, thanks for joining in. Let me know if you have any more questions. I'll get you started, and maybe I'll get you interested in joining, and I can help you. Like, I don't know, I can help you with some ideas if you want to try. If you want to try different templates or how to match the character you want to play with what you need to write up for that character. We also need more fighters in this faction that I'm in, if that interests you. But it's kind of like a semi-religious faction. It's like a version of religion that's based a little bit on Christianity, but not really. It's like kind of based on Mithraism in Christianity, like the sun god entity. It's a whole thing, actually. You can like spend days just studying this religion in the game. It's a main religion. Although there's like other like sects to it. So yeah, this is based on classical EO, like the front end, the client. But this group, the team behind 13 Thrones, they've been doing a heavy customization. Like it's no longer no longer EO. At least not basic EO in any case. Like it's very 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 custom. So hash work is sure we could do. All right, so still talking with this character about what we're gonna go chasing after. Well, this thing needs to rest, and as I explained before, resting gives you grit, which is tied into the healing system. Like you see this button here called aid, so you can aid yourself. This is how you heal. And so what potions traditionally do in other EO type places, here they just increase your healing output. And you have some other potions like for swing speed, you have like some for increasing your carrying capacity, and refresh is actually is about the same. You have like night sight is also about the same. Anyway, so yeah. All right, lead the way. So we're just gonna hang out with Thali a little bit. Actually, let me update the other people in the community that I'm in fact streaming. Maybe you could get some more people that are role players and help with questions and stuff like that. That'd be cool. Alright, so we posted that stream is on. Okay, so this is the one of the entrances to the fort, and you see here how big the fort is. Fort Presidium. You see that there's quite a few areas and buildings and houses. It's like a museum. There's a public bathhouse, public theater. There's like a little pub here that's not yet on the interactive map. There is a post office. This is the bank we're at right now. Where in this bank you can only store coins. There's another bank, there's another like storage area where you can actually store items. Okay, so now we're gonna hang out at the inn. So the areas like the inn are where your character needs to be in order to fill up on your grid. So then you'll be able to heal your character using your grid pool. Another way to fill up your grid is to eat food, which also adds to this whole survivalist background. I don't know why this is just chilling out there. Anyway, so I mean, while we wait, we can look. We can showcase a little bit about the skills. So what skills you can choose for your character and stuff like that. So you have like your basic skills here. I don't know why do I have this so zoomed in. It breaks the sight a little bit. Sorry. I think I zoomed it in for you guys so you can. It's easier for you to read everything. So you have like your, run of the mill fighting skills, and then you have a lot of custom, uh, different type of defense or strategy skills in this fighting system. So finesse is what I'm using, which is to be able to like move with every attack and to be like really agile. And so you defend by always moving and by always kind of being proactive in a way. You're not necessarily like a tank. And then you have like offhand tactics where your character is like using, let's say, on your main hand you have a sword, and your offhand you have like a tiny catcher or like a secondary small sword, and you use that to like to defend. Another option is to not defend at all, which is to like attack as much as possible, do as much damage as possible. This is your like your tank option is to have like really heavy armor plus a shield and be like the main defender. And if you're fighting in a group, you're like you're the guy that absorbs the most damage while other people try to do the most damage to the people attacking you. And then you have like classic swords. This is what I'm using: pole arms and archery actually. So I'm pairing those two. And then you have lower skills. Some of them are classic for anyone that's aware of this game type. And then you have some really cool stuff, which is like geology, horticulture, which integrates with a lot of the world gathering of materials. So geology is like your traditional mining. Horticulture integrates in not just cutting wood, but also collecting all sorts of like plant-based resources. And then you have skinning, which are as you expect, all the animal-based resources you can use skinning for to like extract materials that you need. And then you get to trade, and you have a very complex system of agriculture, food, and cooking. It all goes into that. And you have also very, very intricate alchemy system, artisanry system where you can create all sort of like gems and pieces of art, sculpture, and stuff like that. That your traditional blacksmithing, your traditional carpentry, engineering is a new thing. It's like more like tinkering. And then you have your basic your basic tailoring. I don't know what's happening in the game. It's like, oh, maybe I crashed. All right, let's launch this again. They did some updates recently to the game's it's some instability, but that's a temporary thing. Usually things like that don't happen. But right now, due to many changes and many improvements on the game client, there's also a little bit of instability. So Talia got ahead of us, and she already found a table, and she's already like started to smoke. My character doesn't like smoke, much like myself. I guess I gave this idea to my character from my actual head. notes while trying to avoid the smoke. Alright, let's get this down so you can see the discussion. You can always read up on the discussion over here. This is like, there you are. Now we can roleplay this as got lost in thought. So roleplaying is a little bit like making excuses and like using your imagination to create like an alternate reality, but it has to be a reality that agrees with the reality of the world that you live in. For example, as a quick way to think about this, you can't play Superman in a world where Superman is not able to exist. So this game is based in like Dark Ages, but post-Dark Ages area, where you have, for example, things like you have like steam, you have steam machines. It's like a steampunk kind of ish, and you also have firearms. You also have like a bit of technology happening in the game, but these coexist. Ironically, coexisted with magic, which is a fantasy element. This doesn't exist in real life, so magic is something that is definitely new. And you also have that in Diablo, right? So you have like all these dark magic. So this 13 Thrones Requiem is the place for this kind of stuff. Like if you want to roleplay the most dark, the most demented magician that's walked I don't know, the fantasy worlds out there, this is a place where you can really sink your teeth deep into role-playing the most demented dark character, magician or otherwise, you would feel like playing. And you can put up with playing. And as you can see, so magic has a lot of divisions. There's like the divine arcana, then there's general arcana, Paganistic, which is the mage that I was playing, and it was actually really fun. And I think he was a very powerful mage. Like at a point, if I trained how to play my character, which is actually one of the issues with Magic, is that playing Magic-based characters is really difficult. But if I was on top of my game, I think I could kill most everyone in the game, and even groups of people, and get away unscathed. My character had the ability of summoning creatures. Let's see if like there's any info on that. So there's a lot of like skill abilities. Some definitely nature. Where's that? Paganistic. Blah blah blah. Yeah, it doesn't talk about all the magic spells in this. It just talks about the overall ability of that skill. So it's like I don't know, not even like a bit of the surface. There's so much depth in each one of these categories in Magic, let alone the whole Magic area. So you could summon creatures that are made out of like, I don't know, like natural elements, wood or this and that, and some of them were really powerful. And and they would fight for you, and you could also like be behind them and use them as a shield and cast, right? So it's like your equivalent to a druid in Diablo, if you want to like make a comparison. So you had all these summoned creatures fighting for you, which makes it really difficult for people to attack you. But even if they do attack you, you actually have the ability to heal and cast damaging spells on other people. So oh my goodness, my mage character, if I was willing to put in the effort to play him, he was insanely powerful. But at the cost of a very, very big complexity in the magic system. It's something that requires a lot of dedication, and I wasn't willing, as a more casual player, I wasn't willing to put in the work to keep up a mage. It was too much work. Oh, what's happening in game? We kind of lost track. Oh yeah, this is like, yeah, it happens to me often. So let's interact with her a little bit. What have I missed about your life, Thalia? Now let's bring up her avatar, which shows what she's wearing and doing. Like she's holding a cigar. She loves her cigars and wearing a very dark black trench coat. I mean, my character is also super dark. Like, not all characters dress like this. Yeah, but you know, it really suits my character because he's kind of like a dark defender in a way. So I like, you know, he kind of blends into the shadows, and some people get freaked out, but maybe that's also like I don't know, like a positive thing because you know people are surprised by him, and that gives him like an element of surprise and fear and whatever. But I mean, he's a good guy. You know, aside from all that, he's a survivalist type. He knows how to survive, and he knows that blending into the shadows and not being immediately noticed by people is a good way to survive and have the upper hand in most fights. So Thalia emotes that her character immediately looks down at the table. So something is going on in there. Like the role player behind this character is trying to like signal that their character is going through some rough time. I guess we will find out. That's the beauty of the game. I mean, it's like a creative story that you get to write with other people. Actually, I haven't roleplayed with this character in a while. I haven't, like, my character hasn't talked to her in a long time. And I mean, Talia is not a very... She's not a very open character. It's just like, yeah, I'm from Greatport. I wasn't anyone special, really. Yeah, exactly. She's kind of a bit shy and a bit, like, not too talkative. So you have to, like, I don't know, fish things out of this character. You have to, like, really probe and poke and ask questions and stuff. And I don't know. I'm not always into it, but let's see. All right. Well, since thinking, we can go back to look at. Like I don't have experience with the other areas in Arcana. I've only played this, and I think I had Archmagic, which gives you a lot of like general magic abilities. I have like maybe I think I had General Arcana, but no, I don't remember. It's been like 3 years since I played a mage on this world. Yeah, this place has been around for like a few decades, and you know they keep improving it. So it has a lot. It has a lot of background. But anyway, we can go into like something much simpler, which is rogue skills. I mean, I also have the ability to hide. But a lot of people go into full rogue, which is like lockpicking, perception, which I use also. Like my character is a master in perception, so he tries to notice anything that happens in the world. So I think like yeah, it's like all the way up. So he, you know, and part of the way that he built him is like a very observant character that's always looking around him to see what's happening in the real world, or if anything is like suspicious, or if like there's a trap that has like a little piece of hanging out. He's the guy that will notice it and let anyone know. So Thalia says she cleaned the decks of Father's ships. So that was what she used to do. Father was a shipmaster. He owned a ship in business and several ships. I never knew this about you. Yeah, might as well get some info about Thalia out. Why not? Like I've been playing this with this character for so long, but my character never got a chance to like investigate into her background and into her life. So I only know very little of my virtual girlfriends in the game, like the character that is dating my character. I don't know so much about her best friend. Maybe I should know more about her best friend. It's to the benefit of my character, I guess. So let's see what she comes up with. But meanwhile, we can go explore. So, rogue stuff. So you have hiding, lockpicking, perception is like noticing other people hiding or things that are hidden, or other things in the world where, like, you know, when you play a D&D game, like you roll the dice, and whatever the dice say happens. But here you have the dice, and you also have on top of that, you have your ability and skill and your character's natural and background in a particular area. So the summation of all those things gives your character, you know, the final the final coefficient, let's say in math, of what will actually happen. Like if they will be able to notice something that's hard to notice, if they'll be able to see someone that's hiding, that is actually very skilled at hiding. You know what I mean? Then you have something. You have stealing, which like try to like I don't know, steal things from people's packs while like being next to them and having them not notice it. But my character notices everything, so he always tries to get the pickpockets to like, okay, dude, I see what you're doing. You should probably stop doing that because it's against the law and you're gonna get killed because that's the law in this area, the fort. Um, States clearly that stealing and thievery is punishable by death. So, my character being a good guy, he's trying to he's trying to get people that are thief types to not steal. At least I don't know. Try to find like a decent way to make money in this world, so they don't put themselves to the risk of death. So this is like not much more to tell. Oh, that's disappointing. It was a mediocre life. I wasn't fond of the sea either. Sorry to hear. Did it make you sick? There's another dude walking by. David. Alright, so let's go back to... Okay, so subterfuge is very interesting area that allows you to make traps. And I haven't played with traps. They're really complex, and you have so many different trap types and ways of planting traps. And it's a very direct way of attacking other people without even being there. Or you can you can like think ahead and you can create traps and then hide around and wait for people to fall into your traps, which gives you a huge advantage. They're like, maybe they're almost dead, and then all you have to do is finish them off. I guess, and you can also hunt this way. You can do this for PvE as well as PvP, which is fun. And then you have the new skills, and one of them is firearms, right? Which is like using guns basically. And then you have allopathy, which is a very cool area in itself, which is basically being a doctor. The ability to successfully treat injuries and administer pharmacological items to those suffering from a myriad of physical injuries. So here is where the game gets really, really interesting, because even if you haven't studied medicine, you can start to understand some of the old ways of doing medicine. Like the way the system works is kind of based on what we used to know back in like the Dark Ages and after the Dark Ages about medicine. So it's a bit like of a historical, like living in a kind of a historical world and learning about what we used to know about medicine then, but it also kind of relates to what we know about medicine now. And if you're a doctor, if you happen to be a doctor, you might find this interesting because you're like going back into the history of medicine, right? Now we're gonna go into my character's backstory to tell Thalia. I don't remember if I shared. My character has shared this with Thalia. A bit simple, well, to an extent. My folks decided to leave city life in favor of life in nature and living peacefully in a forest. Oops, I misspelled it. So, thusly, I grew up in a forest, which was different from interacting with people in a town. I learned most of what I know from my parents, and mostly my learned mother. So his parents decided to like escape town politics and the dark kind of, I don't know, shitty life in a small, I don't know, middle-aged town. And they decide to like just go camping in a way and just like grow the child in a forest and have him like be somewhere between Mowgli and, you know, the kid raised by wolves, and I don't know. So in his version, at least he had his parents, so he wasn't alone in the forest. But yeah. But eventually, evil caught up to us. A group of brigands tracked down our settlement and imprisoned the family. Sadly, took off my dad, but my memory is still useful to them to this day as a learned person. She managed to get me out. This is why I found my way here. Rubs his chin a bit, seemingly lost in thought for a moment. So let's give Thalia some time to like read up on all this and like react to what my character is saying. We can go back to what we're reading a bit up into allopathy. So the cool thing is that some of the characters that roleplay doctors, they're also going into a bit of like psychology stuff. And there's like an in-game newspaper, and there's this character that's actually posting in a column a lot of like psych advice, which is really cool. Like you can see, like it's kind of funny to read. I don't have a piece of the paper on me right now. So there's an actual paper in the game where people can, you know, read articles written by other people that, you know, kind of catch up your character with the news in the world, what's happening, events, the drama, the crimes that have happened, you know, crime sprees and stuff like that, and all sorts of other stuff. Italia is like, it's certainly a harsh world we live in. We strive in. I'm sorry. That's... Indeed, you can say that. Yeah, so Requiem is a very kind of dark world. So it's like anyone that plays is kind of playing a type of survivalist character. So I went full survivalist in my background. Meaning my character's background, yeah. I thought it was most fitting, and oh yeah, and now she's ready to go hunting. Let's see if I think, yeah, we had a bite. Let's see how we're doing on thirst. Yeah, I need to load up on water, so we don't forget that later when we're fighting. And you know, it's like there's a lot of so if you forget to eat, you know, you lose a lot of stats. If you forget to drink, you get poisoned. Your character gets poisoned, and that doesn't help when you try to fight. So we're gonna go hunting. I think I have enough arrows. I mean, I don't use my bow enough these days. I have some in my quiver, and I have some in my pack. I should put them all in my quiver. You get a bonus in weight, so they weigh less if you put them in the quiver. So it makes sense because they're more balanced in your character, so to speak. We'll just follow her. character's way too nice. But I try not to let him like be taken advantage of because of that. I mean, he's been involved in a lot of drama that he wasn't the starter of drama. He tried to save people from their own drama in a way. Long story short, without going too much into the player politics, which it's a fun part of the game. Like it's like the whole politics is like a sandbox where you can do anything that you can imagine in a way, or things just happen on their own. You find yourself like my character found himself in between of a very deep kind of drama and very deep politics and very deep. So we're just chilling out, waiting for Thalia. What else can we showcase meanwhile? So the allopathy is very cool, but I don't know if I want to make a doctor character at some point. A lot of people fighting to get injured. So if you get injured, you get permanent effects, which is by getting injured, you get injuries, then you require those injuries to be looked after by a doctor, and that's how doctors make their money. So you see how all the mechanics kind of tie the skill into the game. And I think there's also part of doctoring which gives people benefits, like benefits that normally you would need to use potions for. Some doctors, like I think hematologists, that have to do with like the blood and the juices in the body, in this understanding anyway. They give you like permanent boons, permanent benefits, or temporary benefits through injections and other ways they can treat your character. So that gives doctoring a lot of value in the game, and it makes the game very unique because you have this relationship with doctors, and you have the risk of injury, so you have to actually be more careful when you're fighting. You can't just be like, whatever. Oh wait, we have a role-playing 101 guide. Let's see what we're seeing here. So when you first join the world, it's good to have a solid idea of who your character is going to be. And I mean, I understand that this is something that's not always clear to people, but you can think about it as you're like exploring all the game mechanics, and then you can also explore later. You can explore the lore. Like the lore is like the stories and the background and all the written elements of the world, like history elements of all the different towns and regions that exist, and what's unique. So here is like they have some tips for creating a character that is unique in the way that they talk, even if they can't talk. There are some characters that are mute in the game, and they're talking by writing on pieces of boards and like showing people the boards, like here's what I said, which is kind of cool. Like it's a different, it embellishes the world a little bit. So yeah, here this explains that what you say is above your character, and also it creates a trail in the journal. Oh wait, shit, this is waiting for us. Okay. Anyway, let me know if you have any more questions. Like I can show you more information from the website or answer questions as best as I know, being a veteran in this game. Although, I take some larger breaks and I forget stuff myself, and I have to often like rely on the website to catch up. It's like, oh, what was this thing, or what was that command, or how do you do this? I mean, that's one of the difficulties of playing this game. So you have to be a little bit more curious, a little bit more into, I don't know, more challenging games, I guess. And it's being like a retro type game in a way, although it's like redone, and the client is a very modern thing under the hood. Like if you're a programmer, I'm not going to bore you with the details, I guess. So this is the foundry over here, which is one of the more advanced factions in the game. They have like generators that use steam power. They have a lot of like land, a lot of like machinery, like factories and stuff like that. And they're like a core part of the game, faction-wise. They're also part of the local government that's managing this area that you as a player have an interact in. So right now we're still in their area, and we're just slowly leaving their area to go hunt for some crazy mage type creatures or things. So crossing this bridge, then you get to more risky zones. And from this point on, I usually just load up my weapon. My main weapon is, oh shit, we got stuck on a piece of fruit. Where is that? Wrong button. I want to follow Thalia around again, because it's actually very, very. Asanas is inviting me to the party, and that's very useful because then you can see her vitals, and me being a field medic, if I need to, I can heal her from the back while she's in the front taking all the damage. So that's fighting wise, this is a good tactic to use in the game to be better at fighting and to survive in more challenging fights. So to change into attack mode, you can use tab or C, and then you can just bring up the name of NPC or player, or you can just like double click on them to attack something, and your avatar is gonna start attacking. Of course, there's a lot of tricks and a lot of things that you can implement. Like the fighting system here has skills that don't exist in other worlds based on this. And these allow you to make much more tactical decisions about how you're going to fight. For example, if you want to throw someone off their feet, mobilize them. If you want to cripple someone so they can't move, and then you can attack them from a distance while they can't do anything to you. That's, there's so many tactics, like the one-way roads that lay traps. They could lay some traps ahead of you, or like that's something that a patient rogue could lay some traps for you and wait for you to come by as frequently possible in the area. And once you're there, so now my character is hiding actually. So once you're there, they can like spring out from hiding after you like go into a trap and you've lost half your HP, and be like, hello, it's time for you to die. Or they can be like, oh, you should pay ransom or whatever. You can come up with whatever you want. It's a role-playing. People have to deal with role-playing conditions that you put. It's like imagination versus imagination in a way. Okay, so we reached the place where we're gonna go hunting. I like to practice my hiding quite a bit. Oh, this is poison. We can try to heal her if she's not moving too much. Oh, are we also poisoned? Oh, we stepped into some poison. Great. Sorry about that. Someone is asking me a lot of questions. I told her I'm streaming. I'll send her a picture of me streaming. Maybe that'll explain things. I don't have to. Okay, so we survived the poison, but okay, so I have to go down the stairs here. Oh, this is already fighting style. She got into trouble right away. She almost died. I was distracted by my phone. Whoops. And we're both poisoned. What the hell? There's poison everywhere now. Like, they made some changes to the game and now it's super more challenging in some areas. So it's just too challenging. Poison effects worn off. Good. I heal this off now. Where is this poison? I can't see it. Like, what is poisoning your characters? I mean, you see here that, you know, how much grit you have left. Here's my journal. Okay. What is it doing? Let's try and find out where the poison area is, huh? I don't know. Anyway. So the character's like, maybe not rush in, you know? So that was my last cure potion, I think, which sucks. This is what is really annoying about the change they've done to the game. So a lot more areas have. A lot more poison sources around. Anyway, so this is like, if you could see through my helmet, you'd see me roll my eyes. Loves a bit. Oh, that's like a swamp. Okay, maybe this swamp thing is poisonous. Everything's trying to poison you right now. It's ridiculous. That was his hand back. Holy crap, it's pretty much magic. Cast a skeleton. Skills you can use this double shot that like with the just single shot to double your damage a little bit. Holy shit, these mages are going bananas. Oh yeah, let's try to heal her. Oh shit, I need to heal myself. Summoned. Let's kill its health. Alright, we finally killed the stupid mage. Yeah, I'm just gonna follow. Just gonna follow Thalia around. Switch to staff? Huh. This place is filled with traps and poison. Things are getting rough around here. Holy crap. He's gonna bring in the enemies. I will just attack them from here. I'll switch to my bow. With my polearm. That's a lot of coins. Where is that? Why are the coins split up into different groups? I don't understand. Alright, that went well. We're surviving the hunt so far in the crazy magical sect group called the Ashwalkers. They have like a underground city, like a secret mage club in a way, where magical experiments and things like that. As far as my character knows, that's what this place is, and I know about as much as my character knows about this. Alright, another mage down. Okay, so it's gonna lure. Ugh, can't talk. Lure another one. I need to get close enough to be able to hit it. And also support the warrior if it gets like below. Here you can select that's the top is health. What's the middle? It's stamina, and the last one is mana, which, well, the warrior doesn't use very much. Mana is used by mage types. Holy crap, all the poisoning is really annoying. This cast, or is it soil cast, whatever. Oh crap, why did I walk in it? I was trying to show you and I just walked right in the poison field, which sucks. Alright, we're doing okay. I don't remember what the hell the hourglass is used for. I think it's used for some sort of, I don't know, like weapon modification. Augmenting weapons here. So you can augment a weapon and like add some bit that augments how your weapon is, I don't know, its abilities and stuff like that. 40 of them are used to summon the Crimson Elemental to fight it. Oh, right, I forgot. Yeah, this area requires a group to fight here. It's a little too dangerous on your own. Especially the whatever boss type hangs around here. Found this whole place cleared once or twice, huh? So a lot of people frequent here to collect augments, I guess, yeah. I can fight them alone a bit, but it's risky. I hear you. I have my little thing on top of text. Yeah, I should move this around a little bit more. It's good to keep like what you need to heal close to this thing. So you like do minimal motions and quickly heal people. Pushing your limits beyond what you can handle now is a good idea, right? It's better to be alive and live to fight another day than not live to fight another day. If you bite on my one shoe, it's not a good idea. So the guy that took damage running away from us, that's just not good. So I have to kill the other guy. Oh, he killed himself. Great. Aid purges the plague. Oh my goodness, there's plague down here? Holy crap. It's like some sort of what is he saying? The room is trapped? Yeah. What was that? What was that? Say, I wanted to say, gosh darn, I'm not fully awake yet. A magical spell casting plague or whatever. I don't know. Alright, so the warrior Thalia is managing this battle, and we're gonna hang back and wait for this Ashwalker to walk right in. Come on. Oh, what did they cast there? It's flaming stuff. Me no like it. Have we killed him? Okay. didn't that what? What do you mean? It just says it didn't that. The corpse catches fire. What on earth? Something weird is happening down here, guys. Like, I have no idea what's happening. But the corpse is like catching fire, and there's like fire all over the place, and there's like a raging fire that's going throughout the room. And well, we can't progress forward. So what do we do? Is there like a side exit here? Where's that metal door? Yeah, that's a super crazy trap here with like lots of fire waiting to burn your character to a crisp. Maybe this is the way through, says Talia. We can try it. It's like an old library in here, like with forgotten books everywhere. You see a guy in a room named Cookie. Are you drunk, Talia? So what are we gonna do? So, what is the plan? You see a big old nameplate here muttering of a mad lad, you know. You're not supposed to know the names of things in the game necessarily just because you see the name coming up, right? So the person or thing has to introduce yourself to you, or like find something that describes the thing that's in front of you, or let's assume that your character would know a part of the lore, part of like what all the people have written about a particular character or whatever. How did I crash? Oh, it's so crashy today. Holy shit. Good thing you get back in very fast. So Thalia is like, I don't know, thinking things through, I guess. Take a moment to look at maybe a different track. Oh, it's just finally moving forward. All right. Plunder or injury, hopefully not death. Ha. And there's this, since it's walked into a trap right into the floor. Alright, let's attack this madman. Makes us attack twice as fast. Or so. Oh, he's already dead. Nice. I'm trying to heal her, but she's moving. If people move too much, then you can't heal them. They just, the thing breaks. Yeah. Just like that. Oh, so this place is super dark. I don't know if I can go up in gamma, because I can barely see stuff in here. It's too dark. I'm not attacking Thalia. I'm not attacking Thalia. I'm attacking this thing. Oh, it's attacking that automatically. I see. Please be careful what you attack. It's spending like 10 minutes to... yep, it's spending 10 minutes to like show my character, oh, you shouldn't attack too many things at once, duh. And this is all for like attacking him. It's the same idea with like guild wars and aggro, right? So aggroing too many NPCs is guaranteed death here. In this way, this isn't Diablo. So if you get too much into trouble, you're going bye-bye. Yeah, I'm not so crazy about fighting with someone who's not trained to be a soldier in the game, because my character is, you know, very used to regular fighting and organized fighting, and this character is like a little bananas, and so I'm not into getting my character killed in here. It was fun. We showcased this dungeon area filled with crazed magician types called Ashwalkers, and now they're chasing us. Speak of the devil. Casting spells. I'm laughing maniacally. That's just lovely. Oh shit, Thalia almost killed me. Thalia plus poison plus too many spells. Yeah, this is what it looks like when you die. You get knocked out. That's why you don't go hunting the people that are not very skilled or organized. This was a risky endeavor. This is why my character just suggested to go to Ayuela, which is a much less risky area. And yeah, I didn't push for it because I mean, it sounded like fun at the time. But my character was right not to trust crazy Thalia with a much more challenging area. No. Never again. So after dying, you have Now this is insistence it didn't hit me, when I know for a fact it hit me. Alright. I realize you need a lot more training. So then you have a lot of like negative effects to your stats after dying, and you can't do a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to want to keep your character alive, let's say. It's very annoying dying here. And also, when you die to something that is red, you have a chance of incurring... Oh, well, you have this thing here called KO count. If this goes too high, then you get mortality. If you have mortality, then you have a chance to actually lose your character permanently, and then you have to go back to the drawing board. So it's like you're playing basically on. You're basically playing on hardcore mode on Diablo. Alright, so we're back out, thankfully. I don't have to endure the challenges of fighting with Thalia. So given she's not trained in fighting in a more organized fashion, this is suicidal. Like I've done this dungeon with people that are much more organized, and it makes it easy if you're fighting with people that know what they're doing, and they just don't stumble into things and they don't attack you. Like it doesn't make sense to attack your allies, because then you will wipe out. You'll be like Leroy, but in this world. This Bushmaster is coming for us. He's gonna bite our heels. Little venomous snake. Oh no, he's running away. Huh. How about that? We scared the snake off. Oh, he's going back. Shit. Oh, he heard me. Alright, so this is a nice dungeon to get modifications for your weapons, like augments. But it is challenging for sure. You should come to this place after your character is very well developed. You have a good understanding of the game, and you are in a good group that you feel comfortable that they are able to fight and not attack you instead of attacking the enemies, because that's a bit much. In the recent changes, there's a lot more sources of poison that poison your character, which means that I need to stock up on cure potions, and I need to consider a little bit my strategy dealing with poison, because it's just a little bit too annoying. The poison stops you from healing, and it makes it much harder to fight stuff, and it makes it much easier to die. So you have to you have to be a lot more careful. By the way of the foundry. Alright, my character is a little annoyed at her right now. So he's a bit more kind of cold shoulder than usual. And her, I don't know, like, I don't feel like she's communicating very well with him. So it's like, I don't know, it's a little awkward after awkward after awkward. And it's like, what did I get myself into? Yeah, not today. And not for today. I'm just gonna go in an easier hunting area and just chill. I don't feel like being challenged by this particular person over and over again. Like, okay, this was interesting, but yeah. I'd rather not die every 5 minutes, thank you very much. I mean, it's similar to Diablo. If you get a person on your Diablo group and they're like they keep like leroying things, yeah, it's disheartening to say the least. You just have to deal with it. So she's just sitting there considering her, I don't know, what she's going to say. So let's go back to role-playing 101. So you have your types of speech, or you have like your normal speech that people can hear, and you have whisper, which I think only the character needs to be one tile away from whoever is whispering, and anyone else will not hear anything they say, which is very cool when you want to do some side talk. What's the saying? That's fine for you, but I was heading back. I have to try to get some engineer filament, and that's the only way I know how. Okay, unfortunately, I just wanted to see you back where you wanted. Don't worry about me. If you want to go back, do so, but be careful. Yes? Or are you going back to town? I mean, this is very difficult character to talk to. Like, I can barely understand what he's trying to do. So then you have the ability to yell, which actually, you just do that by entering like an exclamation mark before what you're going to say, followed by space. This adds the word yell as a prefix to the speech bar, and a lot of people can hear you, I think, even through walls. Like if you want people to be able to hear you through walls, this is how you get it done. And then you have your standard emotes, like, reps his chin or whatever. But when you're hidden, it comes up, like, it comes up and it doesn't show who's doing the action. It's kind of funny. All right, sure, let's head to town. All right, let's go. Let's go, Thalia, let's go. What else can we tell you about? Quality role-playing. Beauty is in the eyes of a beholder is an old adage that suits us very well. Oh, let me resize it so you can also see the game. Like, I'll put this on the side, actually. Let's see, that's probably a good idea. So while you see the game, I can also like explain some of it. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Alright. Why isn't this thing wrapping? Maybe I'll zoom out. But now you can't read it. Whatever. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Can't read this. Yeah, I need to expand this out a little bit. How much space does it actually need? think this is the best I can do right now. Okay, so some people value long, exquisite sentences uttered by scholarly characters, while others appreciate short, slapstick emotes that make them laugh. Whatever the case, save for extreme circumstance, nobody was ever appointed role-playing judge as far as I remember. And this is the case for the Requiem player base. We are here to experience fun gaming sessions, role-playing with each other. One sec. What was I? And then let them be fun for everybody. Okay. You may be wondering, what about extreme circumstances? Well, unfortunately, those exist. A good example is seizing another character's freedom by pressing emotes. So that's like some places call this power roleplay. When a character tries to smash Bob's head with a box, tries, right? Because like that gives the option of like interacting with the other person. So they have two options. Either they're going to go along with this, or they're going to break out of it somehow. Everything is fine. If the same character lifts a mansion attempting to smash Bob with it, well, it's also fine, considering he isn't able to lift an entire mansion. However, the action punches Bob 3 times and kicks his groin is certainly not fine, because Bob did not have any say in the matter before suffering such punishment. That's one consideration. The other consideration is that, well, if your character is like, you know, top of his fighting ability, known to be like a very good fighter, he can try, and he should be able, reasonably speaking, to have his attack land, but the other person still has like the ability to come up with a creative counter. And if you can't decide these things, there's a command that you can use. Where is it taking us? I zoned out, sorry. Anyway, so there's a command you can use to like roll the dice the same way that you do. So we're not going back? Thalia is on a weird streak today. What's happening with her head? I don't know. It's saying yes, and we're not going back. Alright. I'll head back. Thalia, wish you a safe adventure. Oh. Is it me? I mean, you can't communicate with my character. Like, oh my goodness. I see now. Says laughs a little bit on the side. Okay, so where were we on the guide? Yeah, I think I was telling you how when you want to roleplay something, you can roleplay anything that you can imagine, but it has to like follow the rules of the game in a way and what's possible in the game. And then when you want to roleplay something that influences something else or someone else, you have to do so in a particular way that allows the other person to interact with it and to kind of give you a way to, or you give them a way to play with you. Like you give them, like, you know, when you do, it's similar to when you do like impromptu theater, and you end with your statement, and the other person says yes, and so there's like an agreement that yes, what you said is happened or whatever, and then you take over, and then you have like a creative leeway to introduce a different event or different thing into your interaction. And what you introduce has to follow the rules of the game in a way. It has to be possible in the world. You can't be Superman here. But you can do a lot of things. I mean, you can, let's say you can try to take over someone, you can try to restrict them, you can try to like make them a prisoner. Sure, you know, they have to also kind of agree to this in a way, or not be able to not agree with this, if you know what I mean. And there's some ways to handle that, and you can also break out the dice when things are getting a little bit more dicey. And so when you break out the dice, which sometimes it happens also with NPC role-playing characters played by game masters, is that you use the dice, but you also use your skill level in a particular area. Oh, I think I crashed again. So you use your skill level in a particular area that allows you to have like a modifier. So it's not just the dice by themselves that determine if what you're going to do will succeed, but it's also your skill level that influences what happens. So let's say if I use my perception skill level that's maxed out to notice something that all the other characters in a group are not noticing, I have a pretty high chance, as high as possible, for the dice to maybe roll in my favor. Plus I have the bonus of my perception skill to actually be able to notice something in the environment that my character is able to notice, but some other character, if they tried the same action, they might not be able to succeed. But, you know, given that we use the D&D kind of rule here, they also have a chance of succeeding at this. Well, so my character's like, I will check on mine, Ara's house. Actually, they have a house right here. So I'm releasing her and I'm like, you're free to go, Thalia, thanks. And he's like, oh my goodness, I got out of this alive, thankfully. So this is Ara's little horsey in the pen, which protects the horse from being attacked and stuff like that. And Ara's like last name is Lufist. She loves fighting with her fists. It's kind of funny. So here is her and primarily her house, but he also has the right to live here. And she set up like an allopathy table for her medicine, so it's like a medical practice for people fighting in this area. And there's like a lot of things to fight in this area, so eventually this is going to be a successful practice in my opinion. So Ara did right to invest her time to set this up. So here's the allopathy table where your patients are like, you know, laid on, so for doctors to do their operations. And she also has alchemy supply stuff, and somehow she has fit in also like a chicken coop to get eggs, I guess, and stuff. I guess you fill this up with corn, and then you wait for the chickens to lay eggs and stuff. What kind of stuff do I have stored here? I don't even remember. I was using this chest at some point. Like a chest on the side, and I was hiding some stuff there. Oh yeah, I think I'm storing some of this here. Because, you know, it's good to have like places to unload your stuff, which is actually the most annoying thing for newcomers, is that you do not have a place. And yeah, so that's not fun. Everything that you can store is on your person, which is very limiting. But you can rent storage space. Like I said, the bank that only stores your coin here, you can rent storage space and pay per week. So you pay some. Oh, this is locked. Okay, but there's like a gate in the middle of nowhere, and it's locked. It's very secure. This is like Windows XP security right here. This is the Windows XP firewall in action. It's there. It is securing this single tile, but everything else is open. So there's like a giant surface area attack for all hackers on planet Earth to waltz right in and do whatever they want. This is why we don't use Windows XP anymore for any network application whatsoever or anything of that sort. So we're just gonna attack them at death instead of trying to survive Natalia, who, by the way, she held on to the coin, and she didn't bother to offer the coin that should have been shared with my character. So my character's a little pissed off. He's gonna talk Ara's ear off a little bit about Thalia's kind of drunk existence, to put it lightly. Disappointing character. And also my experience hunting with her, which was a little challenging to say the least. Like when you should normally be focused on attacking enemies and you get hit by your ally, that's a curveball, man. Like unless like someone in your group is a rogue and they're pretending to be your friend, and then when you go hunting with them and they're like, oh, guess what? Friend. Thanks for killing all those things with me, now I'm gonna kill you and take all your stuff. I mean, it's a possibility, you can't trust everyone. Anything is possible. This is a very dark place after all. Explore their dark sides and have fun, of course, but you know, griefing is not okay, but like a player playing a rogue that tricks people and stuff, that's part of the game. So it's a much less challenging area unless you go attack the swamp monsters that poison you touch. At least it depends on your character. But yeah, the swamp monsters are pretty tough to kill. There's like 4 of them and they attack you at the same time, or they spawn right here after you kill all the undead or these corpses. They spawn in this area, and then you kill those, and then there's like another boss type that is even harder to kill. I've killed it once. I mean, it was a bit of effort. I don't feel like killing it. I think the reward that was there for the effort, in my opinion, is not worth it. As a player that's behind my character, I don't feel like doing that. So it's all about, you know, risk versus reward, and some of the risks now have gotten so some areas are super poisonous, and the rewards are not really that high, so I mean, unless you like a lot more challenges and features, it could be more fun for me. Like I'm gonna start to avoid these areas unless I'm this is just way too long. And even with the group, when you have everyone getting poisoned, yeah, that's not fun. And the other thing is that cure potions are way too expensive. So then, like, if you do the math on how much you earn by what you found, whether you found some treasure type or whatever, or something so you can sell, or recipes are a big thing in this game, then it might not be worth it to fight a particular foe unless like your character really has to or stuff like that. I mean, 1 second. Some work messages I have to at least read. Okay, some meetings coming up. Okay. Oh my god, they all came in at the same time. What is happening? Alright. Oh my god, too many questions coming in on my phone. I need a secretary right now. Anyone wanting to do some secretary work? Position opening right now. You know, phones can be too much sometimes. Like we try to relax, we try to disconnect. We try to have some fun, just taking a break and dreaming a game. And people remember that you exist all at the same time, and you're like, what? Why not? What's so special about this time of day, which is like almost 1 p.m. Greece. Not Athens, Ohio, not Athens, some US state. You guys need to stop stealing our names. And just like come up with your names. Like, how hard is it? Put some syllables together. There you go. You got an original name. You don't have to confuse people and just reuse names that already exist. Oh, there's also like Ontario. There's like I don't know. I mean, New York makes sense because you have York, that's in the UK, and then you have New York, which is new. The New York is in the US. The old York, the original York, is in the UK. This is good. This is good logic. But if you go and steal a name outright, then you have London, England, then you have London, Ontario, and London somewhere else, or Athens somewhere else. Like, come on, guys, let's come up with a different name, or you can. Using this logic, you can be like New Athens, Ohio. Fine, New Athens. I get it. It's not old Athens. It's New Athens. Fine, that works. Yeah, it's less confusing because then people are like, "Oh, I live in Athens." Oh, which Athens? Which Athens? What do you mean which Athens? There's only one Athens. Oh my goodness. Sorry about the comedian rant there. I think that would actually make a nice comedy sketch. Maybe I should write this down or like copy the VOD to YouTube before Twitch deletes the VOD. And like one day, compose this to my soon-to-be open mic stand-up comedy test, which will hopefully I will pass and I will. These things can be poisonous. Sometimes I try to kill these first. Try to kill things with priority. As always, you might find yourself in a pitfall. Especially when you're crowded by a lot of things and you fight with people who are disorganized and chaotic. And often that risks your life. They're as much a risk as a boon. They're often more of a risk than a boon. And depending on, how much you like often hunting in groups, like being in a group of hunting. A man-eating wolf. This is good. Alright. Let's try to check this out. I don't know how strong it is. Probably not. Elemental. Lesser elemental or creature or whatever. So yeah, okay, so one second, let me answer some of these questions. Give me a second here, try to get some work messages off my back. Blah 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 blah. Okay, that one is done. Okay, I think I got these guys back to being busy without needing input from me. What's good? This is good. Yes. Alright, sorry about that. I had to get some stuff off my phone. Undead. The rotting and rotted corpses of the swampland. I really found flies even like I just see the name fly and I'm annoyed instantly. By the experience that I have from being annoyed by flies in real life, as soon as I see a fly in the game, I just want to kill it. Do you feel me? Or am I a psycho? I don't know. Maybe a bit of a psycho. The swamp thing can also poison you. Sometimes. But Oh, this thing can also poison you. I hate all the things that can poison you in this game. Like really, there's poison everywhere. And did the developers ask if you want poison everywhere? No. Oh, these things are also really super poisonous. These little slimy congealed swamp creature, whatever these slimy things are super poisonous. They just touch you and you're poisoned. Fun. And then you can heal until you. Oh, I cured poison. It was lesser poison, which you can heal with. It's just your healing skill. I'll show you where it is. Over here with poison precautions 1, 2, or 3. I've got all these perks. So now I can heal this lesser poison thing right away. Without having to use a potion, which I don't have any left. And as I was bitching about, these are super expensive. So at some point, you know, it doesn't make any business sense getting poison all the time or fighting poison things in poison areas all the time. It's like, what's the point? Going into debt to fight in these areas, and I don't have funding. I don't have an investor paying me to clean up these areas, so why should I do it? Yeah, maybe that's what they want to do. Maybe they want to, I don't know, prioritize paid work, which would be fun as well. Oh. Kill this fly? Yes, the fly is dead, yes. It's like annoying anymore. Oh, there's another swamp creature. He's in the mood to die. Shit. All this time we only got oh, we got 1 silver coin. Finally, something worth bringing to the bank. Like this, 800 coins is less than, like it's 8 silver. It's equal to 8 silver. 8 silver. So we basically made almost nothing. And Talia didn't get any of our coin. Like, you know, when you fight with someone, you're supposed to share a coin with them. Like you share the findings. You only bother to ask if I wanted, like this, what is it called? Element used to unlock, like the boss in the area, to kill the boss in the area, which I'm not interested in. I'm just interested in the coin, which we can use to buy stuff right away and not have to like wait. Buy services, or food, or goods, or whatever you can use to survive in this survival. This free Diablo, the free Diablo. Requiem world. I'll show you a little bit again how to do this for free. Try it out. I mean, you try out an introduction, it doesn't require you to create a character. It's just a simple, if you like to play and the style of this sort of retro game. Oh wow, 3 silver coin. Now we're talking. Finally. There's actually a point to killing something here. There was a point to leaving the fort and the nice Lucian environment of the inn, where you can just chill out forever and read books and stuff. You can also read books in this game. I'll take you to the library later. There's like a whole book on the religion in this game, written by one of the characters in this game, who is a drunk pirate preacher. Now that is a character. Like, if you want inspiration for a weird character you could play, this dude is playing a drunk pirate preacher who has also written a book. And the way that his character talks is like, you would never think this guy could write a book. Like, his writing is actually amazing. So very well done, roleplay wise, and this character is very cool. Sometimes he actually does sermons. Oh. Hello, Kroos. I don't know how to pronounce this. Thank you for raiding. I really appreciate that. Enjoy the raid. Have a good stream, my dude. Thank you. I will follow you guys. Please follow Kroos. Oh, let's see. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm really sorry. Give it one more try. Croats. That's my best try so far. Sorry. So guys, follow Croats on the chat. You can click on people's names right now, and you can just follow them straight from there. So you can just click on his name. Oh, Oceanic. Nice. So Croats Oceanic. Okay, cool. So you can just follow Croats. Thank you, Croats, for the raid. Let me know, guys, if you have any questions about this world and this Ultima. Like, if you know about Ultima or not, it doesn't matter. This game will help you install it. All you have to do is just download one file and read a little bit about how to roleplay and how to write a character. And if you have questions about this stuff, you can just ask me. I will show you where on the website you can get more information and how to do it. It's not that hard. It just requires a little bit of imagination and a little bit of writing, and just looking at a couple examples. You can make yourself a cool little character to roleplay, and you can join in this very, very imaginative world. So now we'll get back to it. Dead here for coin. So it's a reasonably, not very risky area, which is what I prefer now because I'm also streaming. And you can get yourself some coin. But if you just start out as a character, you want to come here. You want to start in even less challenging areas and work your way up as you get a better understanding of the game. And then you're able to take harder and harder foes. And trust me, this game is very challenging. Sometimes I've been playing this game for a long time, and I actually it's super challenging sometimes. So challenging that sometimes I'm like, yeah, today I'm just gonna take a break, or you die a few times and you're like rage quitting or whatever, and you're like, enough dying for the day. I'm through it. But yeah, there are lots of areas where you can start out and you can just chill and figure out how the fighting system works, or you can figure out how to use your fighting abilities. There's a lot of special abilities in this game that are completely different from the game that's built on known as Ultima Online. So I'll show you a little bit, since you guys are new, I'll show you a little bit the website of this place. It's called 13 Thrones. And are we safe, first of all? I'm gonna die. Oh yeah, I'm safe. Okay, so let's resize this a little bit. So this is Requiem's website, which is also kind of cool. It puts you in the mood for a very dark world that's kind of similar. Like, it's a little similar to Diablo, right? But it's not Diablo. It has its own universe, its own background, and it is a type called medieval grimdark role-playing. So you're like role-playing in an era that is after the Dark Ages, but after society has started to rebuild science from pieces of like lost manuscripts and stuff like that. And here's like a quick showcase on the website, and like some intro role-playing text to get you in the mood. And it's like a survival horror style. Like, it's very much, it's like that's why I call it like the free, what do they call it? The free Diablo. It's like a free version of Diablo. That's 100% free. You can, if you want to donate to support the development of the game. I have zero benefit from that. I'm just a player and just really enjoy this game, and I want more people to get to know how fun it is to play a game using role-playing as a mean of interacting with other players, instead of just talking like you would talk in real life. And to create all these stories and create all these campaigns in the game, and all the politics. There's like religion in the game. There's like lots of like dark elements in the game. There's it's a pretty fun game, and it's all made by very dedicated developers and people who love these kind of games. And you can join by just going to 13thrones.com/WordPress, or you can just Google 13 Thrones and it's going to give you the link. And then you can just go connecting files and setup. Scroll down a little bit. Yeah, there's some rules. Of course, you have to be 18 years of age, because this place is really dark, and you might come into experiences and interactions with other people that are role playing very dark characters and might even like role play some graphic, blood and gore stuff. So it's not really for kids. That's the only sad thing about it. It's not for everyone, but it is an 18 plus environment. But that also means that you can come up with anything that you can imagine, and you can roleplay this. So you have a place where you can like act out your most like strange fantasies, or come up with strange stuff, or like roleplay characters that you could never be in real life, and I don't know, explore like different areas and experiment and have fun. So all you have to do to try it out is go to this connecting file setup and scroll down to step 1 and just click on this link. And this is going to download the patcher. This is what the patcher looks like. So the patcher is going to download everything that you need to play the game, and then you launch it, and then you just it asks for a username and a password. So all you need to do is put in a username, and I think you can just put in any password you want, and it's going to create an account for you automatically. So then you can try the game right away, and it's very easy. 1, 2, 3, you go right in, and then you end up in the game client, and you can see, like, you don't play in this part of the world, because to join the rest of the world you need to have an approved character. So you need to have a character that has a background, a text-based like background of the character that is approved by the staff that manage the place. But you can get to experience some of the game and like a part of the world that is not connected with other players that role play in this game. But you can see if you like it. You can see if maybe you like this kind of experience. It's a type of retro kind of game, and you want to see if it's worth your time, if you could play in this. And if it is, then I can help you to figure out how to create a character, how to write up a character. And what you do is you make an application, like you send in your text, and staff will read it and say, okay, this is good. You understand the basics of roleplay. We will let you play in this area. So then, with the same character that you made, they will let you join the rest of this world, and you can interact with other players. You can fight monsters. You can join player groups. There's like lots of player groups that are trying to manage the world, that are conquering different parts of the land, and they're trying to like hold on to different parts of the land. There's different factions that some are friendly to each other, some are enemies with each other, and they're competing. And you can join in, and join in whatever side you feel like, or you can make your own faction. Like if you want to come in with, like, let's say a group of players and be like, yeah, we're gonna make our own faction, and we want to take over a part of the world, and we want to make our stand here. Well, guess what? You can do this. And you can take on the oldies playing in other factions like me, and you can be our enemy, or you can be our ally. You can do whatever the crap you want. This is almost a full sandbox. Like most of the world, you can do whatever you want. You can build buildings. You can lay claim to any piece of land. And you can just erect a building, and you can make your own dream house. Why not? Like right here, if you like this area and you want to fight every day, you can just take it over and be like, all you need is a carpenter that has engineering skills, or like a carpenter and an engineer, and they will make you your dream home wherever you please. And you can, like, I don't know, make this your HQ, and you can make your own walls. So you have like a walled area. You can like ground your own town, and you can say, this is my town, and I'm the mayor, and these are my rules. Take it or leave it. So, I mean, it is a retro setting, and some people will bitch, oh, it's not a full 3D game, I don't like how it looks, whatever, it's like pixels and stuff. But hey, if you like this retro stuff, the gameplay that this offers is super, like, it's, in my opinion, it's worth a lot more than Diablo. That's priced at $70, And if you really like it, you can afford like a a donation for the developers who will spend like decades to build this. But if you can't, you can play for free. That's fine. Nobody's gonna say, "Oh, give us money." And also, the donations don't give you anything that breaks the game. So the game is fair and square, even Steven. So everything that you gain in the game, you gain by playing the game, you gain by gathering, or by winning battles, and so on and so on. So you don't get an advantage by donating to the game. What you get is something called legacy points. Hopefully I'm not going to get killed while I'm showing you this. So if you open your paper doll, which you can open like by clicking paper doll, then you click on codex, you open this book that has most of the information about your character, and then you click on the last tab that's legacy points. So here you can acquire legacy points by just playing the game, which is also fair, right? But if you want, you can also donate. So that's one way you can donate to get legacy points. But the legacy points are only stylistic. So if you want to like dye your weapon a particular funky, stylistic dye, you use legacy points. If you want some, I don't know, like stylistic items to decorate your house, you can use legacy points. But they don't really do anything. They're just for show. And it's just a way to support the game. That's fair. But by also just playing the game, you get legacy points, which you can spend same as the guys who spend a couple bucks to help the game out. So so you can play this for free, and there's no, it's not pay to win. So that's very important. And actually, the staff that run the game are very professional, and they don't give old timers like me any leeway. Let me tell you, trust me. It's not like we haven't tried, because everyone is like looking after their favorite characters and they want to win the game or whatever, and they want to get ahead. But no, the staff are very fair and square over here, and they're like, nope, use an official ticket, use an official channel, use the forum posts. They treat everyone the same, new and old alike. So if you're liking this environment, this is a place where you can have fun and you can build your own virtual roleplay, I don't know, like gamer dreams or whatever you want to do with your character, whatever you imagine you want to do. And you can try to, get it done. It's not guaranteed the character's going to succeed. It's all of us. Our characters have things that you want to get done, things that are in their to-do list, or in their like goals and dreams and stuff like that. It doesn't necessarily mean that you will succeed, and that's the beauty of it as well. I mean, if someone just hands you something, what's the point of it? What's the value of being handed something? Here you can strive for it. You can compete with other people. Sometimes you don't even have to compete with other people. You have to just like solve puzzles, kill things, and learn how to kill bosses. Or use your conniving, like role-playing, politics, scheming, or like your ability to organize people around a common goal. It also tries your leadership skills, which is also like, it's something that's applicable to real life. And it's another game that I play, which is considered to be one of the hardest games ever, is EVE Online, where, I don't know if you've read about EVE Online, the giant battles and the army-like organizations behind the scenes that control these battles are immense. So I used to be a fleet commander for KIA, which was a mercenary corporation, and we were part of EVE history because we were hired by some of the biggest entities in the game to punish their enemies. And the funny thing is that we were hired by both sides. So we were so known that, nobody like held the grudge on us. It was expected that we would kick their butts. But then their enemies, like as soon as one contract ended and we were available for hire, then the other side hired us. Let's say, for example, one very known contract, if you Google into EVE's history, you will find the contracts or the wars between Bob, which no longer exists, and Grunsworn. So we were, this is actually close to the fort. So if I show you the map, here is the area that your character will start out in. It's called Fort Presidium. And right next to it, on one side, is this like tiny little cemetery. So here is a good area for you to hunt when you just barely made your character and you're just figuring stuff out. This is a very easy area to start hunting in. And there's also a little dungeon that's designed for newcomers that it's not allowed for other older characters that are much more experienced to go in. So it's a protected area for newcomers to try out their stuff, to learn how to build a character, and to become successful. I think the entrance is somewhere here. So you have to try one of these houses. I'm not going to give it away. I want, you know, like the beauty of playing a game and discovering. Oh, this is locked. Never mind. So the beauty of playing a game and discovering the game through the game. I think I don't want to spoil that for you. So I mean, I've given you enough info, so you can discover the rest on your own. Oh shit. So the guards don't like it if you walk into town building your weapon. This is called brandishing a weapon, and it's illegal. I'll show you the laws of this place actually. So if you walk in with your weapon drawn out, the guard is gonna come smack you and put your weapon back in your pack and be like, nope, you may not brandish your weapon, sheriff. This is not allowed in this town, Fort Presidium. You're no longer in hunting territory. So here, if you go right next to this is the inn, you can bring up the local laws, and you can be like, oh, what are the laws in Fort Presidium? Let's see. Okay, so concealment. What does concealment mean? It means when you're wearing a hood that conceals what your character looks like. It's also going to conceal his name. So when you walk up to someone, they can see your name, even though in good roleplay ethic, you don't know someone's name unless you ask them their name. So that's something to keep in mind. But I have a hood on, right? So I could, in essence, like bring the hood down, so then that makes your character not show their name. And when you're walking and you show up on screen for someone, it will just say a concealed creature, a concealed figure, right? So then you're fully like nobody even knows who you are, which is really cool. So even if someone doesn't know about roleplay, even if they wanted to say, oh, I saw so and so, I saw Amon D. Valley, that's my character. You can't see anything. You can only see what they're wearing. So then you can open their paper doll and be like, what is this person wearing? He's wearing like some dark stuff, and like he's wearing a quiver, and he's wearing like a little bit of like some sort of a red shirt. So you would describe to your friends, let's say like this, let's say I attacked you, or let's say that you were in another faction in the game and we're enemies, and I just attacked one of you guys and I walked off, and you saw it, you're a witness to it. You can say, oh, I saw a guy in a hooded robe, and and he had like a quiver on, and he had like very dark features and very dark clothes. You can say that, that's fine. And it's up to me if I wanted to further obscure my appearance. I could actually change my clothes, right? I could even put a different color hood on to try to get away with murder, so to speak, in the game. Anyway, so this is concealment. So and this is not illegal here. So not legal inside of the fort. So if someone walks up to you concealed, you could actually call the guards, or you can call all the players and be like, so and so in this corner, he's like concealed, and this is not legal. You should bring in the guards. You should punish the fucker, or whatever. Theft is also illegal. Burglary, which is breaking into people's houses, is illegal. Assault, so attacking other people, is illegal. Incantation, which is like saying words of magic and stuff like that, is illegal. Brandishing, which was me holding my weapon, is illegal inside of this area. And of course, murder is illegal. Now you see that all these things they look like they are toggleable, right? So they could change. So everything in this game can change. Now, that's another fun thing to it. So it's like even in this area is a starting area where you start out in, and it's safer. You have guards around. Like this is not a guard. This is a guy selling newspapers, but you have guards around somewhere. And generally, it's under the protection of the Foundry, which is it's a in-game faction. Oh, let's go in the title. So Now in the tavern, you have the chance to regain your constitution. In this game, it's called grit, and this is what allows you to heal. So using aid uses up grit points. And one way to regain, so I have a script here to just undress my armor. Oh, oops, I dressed the armor. I pressed the wrong button. I need to undress the armor. There we go. Because if you're wearing your armor, you don't regain as many grit points as fast. Which is, it's a risk versus reward, right? Because someone crazy enough could actually attack you even in here. I mean, you can run off to the guards or whatever, but someone could even attack you in here, that's true. So we're just gonna chill a little bit in the tavern and look again into the game just to introduce you people. So if you want to try this out, it's 13thrones.com. And again, I'll show you how to get the installer. It's absolutely free. And this is not pay to win, so even people that support the game, they just do so because they like it and want to keep this alive rather than wanting to gain advantage over the players. And you go to step 1 and you click on this thing, and then you get the patcher as I showed you, and this is going to set up everything that you need. And then you just create, like, you put an account name. If you want, you should write this down and write down like a password. The password can't be too long. I think there's like a limit to 10 characters, something like that. Because the other day I had a password that was too long, and there was an issue with that. So, and then you can just log in and try it out, and it brings you to a limited area that allows you to see what it looks like. As you try that, then you can come here to the application area and look at this example and the primer, so a basic background of this world. It's a little bit of reading, right? But it's not that much reading. You can do it, and it gets you into the mood, so to speak. It gets you into the world, so it gets you to understand what you're coming into, and then you just read through the rules. Of course, you have to be 18 years of age to play this because it's pretty dark, and some of it can be, I don't know, traumatic to people. Like, there's a lot of really dark settings, and then you just I don't know, it's a little bit of a read, but it's worth it. And then you just write your own character. And the last thing that they require from you is to figure out, okay, your character's name, their physical attributes, what your character's intention and motivations are for entering this world, which is the first province, as it's called here. And then they ask you to provide a few paragraphs with pertinent details or notable qualities of your character's history. Right? So this doesn't need to be exhaustive. Like, it doesn't mean that you have fully figured out who your character is going to be. So you can embellish that as you go, and your character develops as they go. And then you just click on the character application board. I'll just click on it for you just to show you what it looks like. It's like a forum, basically. It's just a forum post. And there's one last like readme. And then here you can post a new character. And let's look at a character that was posted like just on July 1st and see a little bit. Like, I'll zoom in so it's more readable. See what a character application looks like. It's really not that hard. So, they ask you if you've played here before. Of course, not. If you're watching, probably you haven't played here before, I'm guessing. So here you're like, how did you hear about Requiem? I would appreciate if you mentioned the stream here. That would be great. I would really appreciate that, because I'm not paid by the developers to showcase this. I just like it. I just love playing in, using role playing. I find it to be very imaginative. I find it to be very creative, and it can also help you improve your spoken word, your creative writing, and even work on your imagination a little bit. It's like think of it this way. When you're reading a book versus watching a TV show or a movie that's based on a book, playing here, you're writing the book in a way, and you're writing the book with other people that also play here, which it has a kind of a magical effect to it. It's like I don't know what it's called, like a choose your own adventure, or write, like I forget what this is called when you're co-authoring or writing an adventure together with other people. And all the creativity of all the group together influences what ends up happening and what you end up with. So here, for example, let's see this character called Forlan, and of course, you can find like there's some websites with Latin names or Greek names or Spanish names, so you can like find some name that speaks to you that's unique and put it in there. Yeah, so one segment is like the physical attributes. So this guy says about his character: a lifetime of hard labor has made Faulan broad of shoulders and thick of waist. He's young, though he stopped counting the years. Still, one might approximate him to be in his early 20s. He is a dark complexion of an Therian, but he still looks properly pale compared to those that spend their lives under less forgiving climates, I think he means. Lars' meaty hands are rough and callous from his work, but this seems countered by glimmering his moss green eyes. If the occasion calls for it, Faulan might even braid his dark shoulder-length hair. He's tall but not towering, handsome but not smoldering. I like this because it's, he's creating a more balanced character. He's not creating a character that's like, he is very beautiful, everyone is attracted to you, and all the ladies, crap their pants as soon as they see him. It's like I have a character that's also kind of like not necessarily beautiful. Like what the way I wrote it is like, well, he's beautiful if you're drunk, kind of beautiful. It's like he's not nothing special. Like his appearance is not what's unique about my character. His way of thinking is what's unique about my character, and his background. Anyway, so more about this guy's character, which I just chose at random. You see, it's like and you can also look at all the examples just to inspire you. So Faulan's family can trace their lineage back to the early tribes of Atheran, and you can see more about these areas just to make this simpler for you. Any word name that's not familiar to you, you can come to the website to Hall of Wisdom, and this is where you can find all the history of this game, and what is the, as they call it here, the world of Eden, and what is the Venerated Republic, what are all these factions. So whenever you see a name that's not familiar, you can come here and you can find something about that. You can find something about the history of the game, and all that amounts to information about the state of the world and what has played. Here are all the factions that interact with each other, and the sub-factions that interact with each other that end up to the current state of the world. And so you can educate yourself more about, and you can do this as you play as well. I mean, you need to understand enough to be able to write your character, but you can do this as you play if you don't feel like, reading a whole book worth of information. And it can be some information, I understand. So let's go back to this character. As we're waiting, right now we're waiting in the tavern, and as you can see, we're loading up on grit, which is basically your healing. The healing system depends on grit. We're almost full on grit. So as we're chilling out in the tavern, our character is regaining his constitution. I can show you a bit more from this demo here. So he said, despite his pride, the pride of his forebears would still instill into their progeny, Faulan does not harbor any ill will towards the Republic. On the contrary, it was common for families of Atheron's highlands to offer up their service in exchange for small privileges that were not ordinarily afforded to civilians. He sounds like a mercenary. And while they may not have earned a place among the elevated citizenry of the Republic, they were left enough alone. Farron learned the skills of a huntsman, and this largely bought him the safety of his immediate family. Yet it was not enough to quench the Aetherian's heart. He wanted to do more, to serve in some small way, so he began to work with agents of the Republic in an auxiliary role. As he grew into this role, he spent longer and longer away from home. It was not all at once, but rather a slow drip, until one day he no longer recognized the lands he traversed, or the company he kept. But that was the tale for another time. Briefly, so now that's another section. So this is like the background section. That's like the media part of your character application. And it's like, if you watched Westworld, which is one of my favorite TV shows, you will understand that this is the cornerstone. If you know this word, you've watched Westworld. This is the cornerstone of your character. This is what grounds your character. This is like whenever you're called upon in the game to make a decision, or another character in the game challenges you in something through discussion. This is what you should bring to mind when trying to decide how your character should respond to something. Like what sets them apart from everyone else in the world. And then you have another section that says, briefly state your intentions or motivations for entering the first province. And the first province is all the playable area. Let's say this is a part of the first province. It's called Fort Presidium. So this is where you start out. Like you start out right here, actually, where my cursor is as you like leave the quarantine area, which is for people who just try the game, that do not have a background application that is approved. You start right here. So this is a part of the first province. So when you first enter, you need to have a reason to enter. So here they ask you, okay, and this guy's response is, for the intentions and motivation. A woodsman, a scout, and now an outlander, Fowland found himself entering the first province less out of desire and more out of necessity. Though he was loyal to the Republic, they did little to provide provisions to those that were not official. Times grew lean, and Fowland grew weak from malnourishment. Falling behind on his duties, after a time, the company with which he traveled decided to leave him behind, but not before stripping him of anything useful. So he's giving background to why his character starts with nothing, while you start with very basic stuff, and down the line, either characters help you or you by killing stuff in the game or helping other people in the game. There's a full market in the game, actually. Or even convincing other people to help you. There's so many ways you can do things. You don't just need to like get some coin. It's not a hard-coded game, if you understand my meaning. It's a much more imaginative world where you can use your words to get away with stuff. So then there's like the response that it's like the first role-playing moment that you're gonna have is actually already in your character application. So there's like I think he cut out the response here, because here it should say that guard at the quarantine officer asks for your reason to enter the first province, and so here you are asked for the first time to roleplay inside your application. And he says, Fowland shambled forward, the threadbare cloak hanging from slumping shoulders. He had been waiting to speak with the officiant for quite some time. Not that they cared, he did his best to straighten his back and ignore the ache of starved muscles. I have come to work. So that, he's actually saying that inactive from his person. He answered honestly, as there was no need to attempt at deception. Nor was he any good at it anyhow. So he's a much more kind of like, an honest character, so to speak. He's not a rogue type, but you can play a rogue type. And these are a lot of fun. I played some really cool rogues back in the day. And I've been playing this game since 1997 on the official servers, and then I played only on these kind of worlds that are roleplay oriented since '98, right? So I played for a while in this kind of worlds. So I find this super fun, and this is one of my motivations for streaming, is to let people figure out and how fun it is to play with role-playing. So this guy's he's a full like honest type, and then he continues his statement. There's nothing for me back there where the character comes from. He gestured vaguely over his shoulder, presumably to whatever miserable fate he had crawled out of. It was enough movement for the soldiers beside the officiant to take notice of the sheer girth of the man before him, and perhaps the cord of leather wrapped around his left arm. It was a simple thing, truly, but there was a certain elegance in that simplicity. The leather was adorned with a small wooden prayer beads, with which one of the 8 Decussion virtues inscribed into it. So this is a religion of this game. It's like Decus is like a version of Jesus, so to speak, but also kind of like a sun god also. And it's something that you should discover about in the game, unless you want to read about it in Hall of Wisdom. It's also here. You can figure out what the religions are and what the sects are and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of meat there if you're into that stuff. So, so here he is basically showing that he's a Dakuzian himself. So he believes in the basic virtues of this religion and philosophy. Ending in a worn wooden figure that presumably had once had the likeness of the Archangel. Oh wow. So he's done his studying about the background of religion, and this also goes into the creation of the world. So what were the entities that created this world, and so on and so on. I would like you guys to discover that on your own. I don't want to spoil everything in this introduction. But this is, I mean, I randomly run into this character, and it looks like a first character by someone who has never played here, which is actually very impressive. And you can look at a lot of other examples. You'll find even my own in here. For like dig back long enough, there's a lot of characters that play in this game. And that's the richness of the game, is all the people that you can run into and all the stuff that your characters are going to create together, and all the discussions they could have together. I know my character almost looks naked, but he's wearing like this little ornate dhoti, was like I don't know, like a bigger loincloth type thing. So we're fully healed, and I think my character may be a little hungry because I haven't. This after all, it's a survival game, so you have hunger, you have thirst. So you need to keep your character alive. So if you don't drink water, you're gonna get poisoned and you will die. And I guess it's a kind of a game over. Like if you just want to get in to die, you can do that. And so food gives you a lot. Like if the person who cooks the food is super skilled, it also gives you a lot of benefits that are super important for. Oh, we can't eat yet. We're full, but yeah, let's get out of here. Or should I fill this up? Yeah, let's fill this up. It's always good to, like, I have 2 containers with water, because if you're away from the town long enough, hunting or whatever, it's good to have some water for your character to survive. And this is a survival game at its base. Let's put back our armor. Then we're gonna head to this kind of cursed area that is very, very much like Diablo. Like, this is totally a free Diablo clone in a way. Not really, but I'm just, saying it for comparison. Like, it's very much like that. So we're just gonna hunt in this area. I often patrol in this area, as my character would say. He doesn't hunt, he patrols to keep people safe. That's his cornerstone, is to help in the community and fight the evils out there and try to save people. Oh, this is a fun little area to showcase. So here you will notice bodies being burned. So in Requiem, in the world of Eden, there is a type of ailment that's called the torment. And the torment is something that everyone is afraid of, including me and my character. Like, it's something that you don't want to come in contact with, because that's gonna drive your character insane. That's one thing. So you have this mind insanity thing right now, and this shows that my character is fully okay. He's fully rational, so no need to panic. But out there lurks a thing called the torment, and the torment, if you contract the torment, usually through breathing or touching something that's infected, your character will slowly start to exude all the different symptoms of the torment, and some of which are madness. So yeah, so everyone is afraid of the torment, because the torment is not only going to kill your character, it's going to completely change your character and then kill your character. And then your character goes bye-bye, and then you need to write a new one. Because this is permanent death. This is like playing Diablo on hardcore and then some. Because you have all the invested time that you put in to create this character, to create these characters, like relations, like build up this character, train this character, train yourself to play this character. Like skill is super important in this game. So you can like give two people the exact same characters with the exact same skills, and the way that they play them, the way that you as a player play. Oh, I didn't put away all this coin. I should go back and put away this coin. I got too distracted by streaming, I guess. And now we're like hiding around. So when you see like the avatar there is like grayed out, people actually can't see you. Unless they are in the same group as you, you are basically invisible. So it's like, you know, oh shit, I forgot to give you my weapon. So all the guards are like, oh, you're brandishing weapons in the foundry in a non-hunting zone. How dare you? So you're not allowed to brandish weapons because it's like, you know, to attack someone you need to first of all take out your weapon, and the guards don't want you to be attacking the players in this area. But that said, you see how far apart this guard is, right? So if you're a smart rogue, you could be hiding like behind not in a lit area, you could be hiding in a dark area behind a bush or something and just wait for someone. And you might get lucky, you might be. Actually, a friend of mine got killed in this area right here, which is just outside the fort, right? So if you really have to give it to the realism of the game. Like, I know it's like, you know, it's like top-down 3D-ish kind of game, retro vibes, dark, but there's a part of realism to it, to the fact that here you see, you know, in this area, let's say you see no guards, right? And you can like lure someone behind the trees and get them to attack you over here, and here they have no one to come to their aid, unless someone comes to their aid, unless another person just shows up. So it's a good area away from the guards to lure someone and attack them, or I don't know, be like a rogue and be like, your money or your life, choose one. And choose wisely. So you could roleplay that right there and have fun with another person, and I mean, in my opinion, it's also fun for the other person because it's, you know, it's a fun event that happens to you, and you have to deal with it. And you have to deal with it with role playing, or with mechanics. Like, you could actually PvP in the game. You don't just sit around writing stuff. As you can see from, you know, the fact that it's a full-on game. This is not like role playing in a forum, because there are people that, you know, it's just role playing forum posts and it's just write stories together. This is kind of like that, but it has, you know, a real time element to it. So you are in a world in real time, and things are going down, and your skill and your ability to respond to the situation, they have a huge influence into what happens, into what will be the outcome of, you know, a serendipitous event. Anything can happen in this place almost. Which is why, you know, usually when I play, I try to be on top of it, because sometimes I was playing and working at the same time. I often do that too, still, but I try not to take too many risks in the game while I play and work at the same time. Because one time I was hunting with a character that was similar to this setup. So this is my tiny little house. I prefer a small house. Some people have huge houses, as you may have noticed. I like small and manageable houses. You know, well decorated, efficient, it's good at what it does, and requires less maintenance. That's good enough for me. And it's cheaper to maintain as well, because this is actually a house that was built for me by a player, and it's on my own claim. So in this claim, I can do whatever the hell I want, so long I keep the app kit, right? I maintain this place. I can do whatever the crap I want in this place. But it's much cheaper. It's much more efficient to have a small place, and I've only agreed to add to like, I needed somewhere to put my horse, and now I share this area with my faction, so I gave them the keys so they can also keep their horses safe there. So yeah, you can build anywhere you feel like building. That's another cool thing about this world. All you need is a carpenter and a tailor to make you like the right things to be able to build. And you need materials, of course. You're gonna need, like, unless you can, like, these are trees that you can chop down for logs. So you need a lot of logs or stone, depending on what you're building. And you can either get these yourself, or you can pay other players to gather them for you, or maybe like the person that's building your house. You can, I don't know, if you can motivate them with cash to do it for you, they're probably gonna do it. So you can just be like a fighter type and not have any crafting skills and just rely on crafters for everything else, which, you know, it makes the whole economy. It makes the economy work. You bring in the undead coins. But also another funny thing is that if you are a rogue, you can mint your own coins in the game. And then you're like, holy shit, what about inflation? And I'm like, what about inflation? There's actual inflation in the game. And you can, you know, you have to deal with inflation. So if you are a sneaky rogue and you're like minting your own coins, it's not to your interest to devalue the coin, right? Or unless you were doing that on purpose, maybe you have, like, maybe you want to do a crazy strategy and buy I don't know, all the weapons on sale, if that's even possible. Then you could, like, for example, you could using your fake coins, which actually you need some materials to make the fake coins. You're gonna need copper, or you're gonna need silver, I think, to make silver coins, which are worth a lot more. Let's go back to skill compendium. Let's see and find combat skills. So we need crafting skills, and where's the? No, it's under rogue skills. So you have subterfuge. And one of the perks in subterfuge is minting. So let's read this. You have picked up the skill associated with crafting possible currency from precious metals, allowing for the creation of gold, silver, and copper coins. Enables the use of coin mint. So you're able to mint your own coins, and then you're like, so what's the point for a crafter to, like, do all this work, kill all these evil monsters to gather the coin, and then this crafting dude comes out and he just goes mining, and he mines for some gold or some silver, and he just mints his own coin. I mean, it's not free, right? You still need the material, otherwise it's not going to be passable coin. It makes sense, right? It's, even though it's like a, you know, fantasy land, and it's like kind of like a weird retro game for some people, I understand. But listen to this realism, like these tactics that you can pull off in this game, the gameplay that you have in this game are pretty effing cool, and you have to give it that, right? And then you have to deal with this thing called inflation. So if you create too much inflation, then the coins that you created, well, they can't buy the same stuff. So people are going to start raising their prices, and then your coins, everyone's coins, are going to be worth less. So you're to benefit your own character, you're basically damaging, in a way, you're influencing the whole economy. But that is also against you in a way, so you don't want to influence it. So if you're smart rogue, you know, minter type deal, the thing you will do for sure is not to mint too many coins. Or if you mint coins, you're going to not put them on the market too quickly. So you need to trickle the coins in. Otherwise, the value of goods is going to go up the same way it does in the real world. And then you're not going to be able to buy the same stuff you were able to buy with those same coins. And then this is like a chicken and egg thing, and it's also causing like a cycle, because then the rogue type, if you're playing this will need to mint even more coins and even more coins, and the value keeps going down, and then you become like, you know, you have a situation like the Zimbabwean dollar. You know, it's right now it devalued to the point that one Zimbabwean dollar is the same with now 1 million Zimbabwean dollars from all the minting and all the printing of money. And if any one of you is paying attention to the news, I mean, we did quite a bit of money printing during the pandemic to keep the economies rolling, and guess what? Now the value of goods is up. So this game is too realistic. If you're trying to run away from the real world and you're like, oh, this shit, there's inflation in the game. I was trying to run away from inflation, man. I wanted to take a break from this stuff. Now you're telling me with this stuff. I know, I lost a few viewers. Like, holy shit, I thought this was a game, and it turned too realistic and scientific. I'm like, I'm out of here. So this area is called Iwela, and it's like an old monastery that's been taken over by crazed monks. And it's like super, yeah, it's Iwela Monastery. And there's also some crypts. And now it's like evil lives here, and you have like all these like heaps of gore and unspeakably dark things. Pretty much like Diablo. This is like the Diablo area, so because it's all undead stuff and like stuff brought back to life, like bodies brought back to life by necromancy. And this is like a little NPC mage. I'm gonna kill it with a bow because this little bugger keeps running off. So I'm gonna switch it up and use my bow. Otherwise, you have to keep chasing him, and I'm not into chasing him. That was another one like. Why is this? Yeah. He was right next to me, but then he'd say, "Oh, I'm being damaged. I'm gonna run away." These guys can throw you off your feet, which pins you for I think like 5-6 seconds. You can't move, so you have to keep that in mind. I think it's a good idea to kill these off first if you want to feel a bit safer or more in control of the battlefield. And the mages can also cast spells that pin you, and you can't move, or like paralyze you and stuff like that. So it's a good idea into a fight, and there's a lot of these guys around to kill the mages off first, so you don't have to deal with this really annoying spells that change the nature of the fight. In control, and I have too many unknown variables. Like before, I was hunting with another player that got me knocked out because first of all, they attacked me, and they got too risky with the way that they were playing. Things got out of hand, and that's, you know, this happens. But my character kind of expected it, and he told her that he didn't want to hunt in this very risky area with her, but she wants to farm for these augments that you can use on your weapons and armor to improve them. It's very much like there's so many parts. It's like very Diablo-esque. This is why I'm going to start calling it Freeablo. So long Diablo is super popular on Twitch, I'm just going to call it Freeablo because it's the fastest way to, like, somebody just comes in the game and asks, so what is this game? How do you play it? I'm like, oh, it's just like Freeablo. It's like Diablo, but it's free and it's like kind of retro. And okay, you don't have to pay for it, but you have to roleplay. So to be allowed to exist in this world, you have to roleplay. So if you refuse to roleplay, you might get banned, or I don't know. It's just not so hard, like I've been trying to demonstrate. It's not that hard. Like, one way to do roleplay is to do like Dungeons and Dragons with a bunch of friends. You have your dungeon master that sets up the world, and they are responsible for kind of acting out what's happening in the world. It's similar here. Here, instead of a dungeon master, you have a game master, although you almost never see one unless you have a problem, unless you need help with the game mechanics or something like that. You need help. But they do the same thing as dungeon masters. You just never see them. You don't feel like you're interacting with them, but you might interact with them. Like they might take over an NPC character at any point and in a way force you to roleplay. And if you refuse to roleplay, well, you don't belong to the roleplay. But I mean, it's not that hard. It's easy to roleplay with your character. And there are steps. Figure out the basics and get ideas, and then be inspired to write your own character. Or even like if you're a D&D, if you're a dungeon master, if you run your own D&D games for people, you can get ideas to run more, imaginative D&D sessions with your friends. It's pretty similar. It's very D&D based. We even have like the D&D dice in here, although it's like a D4 dice. So this area now has a lot of poison. You have to be really careful what you step on, because a lot of the blood, the leftover blood here and there, some of it is super poisonous. That almost kills you. And I'm still trying to get used to these changes. It's very challenging to be fair. You have to always like be on the lookout. Where's my character? Where's my character? Moving. But well, the same way, this is kind of realistic in terms of like I spent like a decade or more doing anime. And you think in a similar way, like where you are in space, who's around you, what are you doing, what are you holding, are they holding a knife, are they attacking you, how are they attacking you, are they crowding you? That's actually a thing that is taking care of the mechanics in this game. So enemies can actually crowd you, and if they crowd you, you cannot move unless they force your way through, but you don't have that much energy to keep forcing your way through, so you have to always be wary of the fact that you're being crowded or being held down by enemies. And then let's say you're being crowded and then a mage shows up, you are screwed and you can't run away. And the mage doesn't start doing a lot of damage on you. What are you going to do? Well, you have to be wary. You always have to think about the battlefield, like, this old book, Sun Tzu, The Art of War, right? If you read this book and you need a place to practice this book, I would wager this is a good place to practice Sun Tzu without like going into war in real life, right? This is the good thing about games, is we can get the ugly sides of humanity dealt with. We can get all the violence out, all the stupid evolutionary things that we haven't yet outgrown from our nature. We can deal with all that stuff in games without hurting another game. Because you turn something that was evil and bad for you and bad for others, you turn it into something that's positive. And you regain strength and constitution to deal with how shitty the world is out there. Although the world in this game is much it's super dark. As you can see, I should turn on the lantern. Yeah, now you guys can see it. Although the lantern, like I said, the lantern is very cool because it's attached to your hip and you have your hands free to use weapons. How cool is that? The only annoying thing with it is that you need to keep filling it with refined oil, and the refined oil is really expensive, so I always manage kind of my expenses. You see this mate's gonna keep running away as soon as you approach him, so that's why I switched to my bow, and then, you cannot run anymore, you mage. The gluttonous cultist. He is now dead. Okay, but I don't want to use my bow. It's actually expensive to get ours, so I use my polearms, my halberd, save arrows, and I use my bow when I need to use. Oh, there's another player here hunting. So let's announce ourselves. Doing okay there? Oh, I think he's an mage. He's using skeletal animations, like he's okay. He's using the stuff to attack on his behalf, so he's like a necromancer. Now, as you said before, magic is a rager, right? So if someone came up and saw that this person's using magic, and not only magic, is using the darkest kind of magic, which is necromancy and stuff like that, right? The authorities of this clan would right away. Oh shit! Is he attacking me by mistake? Let's run out of here because I don't feel like fighting a mage right now. they're really powerful. I mean, player mages. This is an NPC, so one of these is kill as far as mages, because there's some. So we can kill these guys pretty easy. Yeah, let's keep this open to see when this player necromancer shows up again. Until then, I will try to keep clear of him. So I don't know what. Generally speaking, mages are very stable. Like in people who play mages, they would play them as unstable because magic, you know, is something that's still intrusive in the world in a way, and it makes the characters that try to yield magic and use magic, it makes them unstable. Right? So of course you can't trust a person like that too much. I'm just gonna give him lots of space to do his thing, to hunt, but not hunt right next to him. I don't feel like sharing. This guy, he said he doesn't want help, so might as well just clear out and give him some area to hunt in without having to worry too much about it. Oh, this is Zella with it. So Zella is one of the harder mages, NPC mages to kill. I think he's gonna go straight for the Zealot, most likely this guy. I'm just gonna give him plenty of room and keep to my lane, so to speak. Yeah, I don't feel like dying to a necromancer today. Yeah, okay, so he's hunting this way. We're just gonna go to a different area. Just keep clear. Alright, so now you had an experience of what is a bit of what is to be like a mage in this game. I think, to be fair, this is not called exactly necromancy. It's called like, I forget. Let's see. Let's go back to skills. It's called, diabolism. It's Diablo, right? I'm telling you, this is free Diablo. If you want to play in a Diablo, world where things are alive, coming alive with the power of your imagination. This is the place, man. And you can continue to play Diablo when you want to slash into things without talking to other people, fine. You can also do that here to an extent. This is kind of what I run away from this mage. My character doesn't trust this guy. feel like pushing his rock too much. So yeah, so Diabolist can summon undead, right? So you can have like a whole bunch of undead fighting on his behalf, but he can still cast. So he can still cast spells while like he sends his undead on you, and his undead are like attacking you. He can still, like, oh yeah, this is one of the hardest mages to kill. He can still attack you with spells and damage you and poison you and this and that. Which is not fun. I mean, I have some serious resistance to spells, but I'm not going to test it right now. You know what I mean? I feel a bit more like, you know, having a chill stream and showing you guys the game. I'm doing some hunting, but I don't feel like challenging myself to that degree, or like trusting this guy. It doesn't seem like he's super aggressive, but again, you should never trust mages in the game. You know what I mean? They're not all very stable, especially the guy that's playing a diabolist. Diabolists are not known for their stability. They are a little out there. They are a little on the evil side, or chaotic side, so to speak, as a character. So I wouldn't recommend that you are too trusting of these people. Alright, so okay, we killed one mage out there, but he didn't have any silver. Usually these guys had some silver to give you as loot, but this guy was pretty poor, apparently. That's unfortunate. Now this area is also filled with poison. If you as much as step on the blood there, you are poisoned and you might even die, because that poison is really strong. I think you can only cure it if you have really strong cure potions. But these are so expensive now. That's like, is it worth it? Like if you want to build your bankroll, and you can also like invest in businesses in this game. Like there's people that are running businesses and stuff like that. And you can invest in all those. There's some amount of stuff you can do in this game. But yeah, if you want to build your bankroll, so then using that bankroll, maybe you can be more chill in the game. Your character can be well off. You want to manage your expenses. So if you keep buying, like the same with Diablo, if you keep buying potions, you don't like sell enough stuff, you don't find enough loot, and it's not worth it, is it? So you have to manage this as well and make sure that it is worth it. So here now, there's also some tiles, some spots that are poisonous. The one is right in the entrance there. I'm just gonna avoid it. These are recent changes. There used to be like the big bloody areas used to be poisonous. That was the case for a while, but now I'm gonna save some money on my lantern. Okay. But now even you have a lot of like smaller spots that are harder to notice that are poisonous, and that is not fun. It's like you're fighting, you know, you're focused on killing everything and being efficient and stuff like that, and all of a sudden you notice that you're poisoned and that your HP is like going, and you're like, why? And you cannot heal unless you cure the poison. So for a while it may be a little challenging, or too challenging. I think I'm done hunting for now. Let's see how much coin we got. We got almost 20 silver and something. Where's this? 1 silver coin. 20 silver. I mean, it's decent, kinda. I mean, then you will say, you know, how much does 20 silver buy you? Well, it buys you quite a bit of food to begin with. Like you can buy some soup or something like that with, I don't know, like 50 copper. So that's a fair amount. That's a fair amount of coin for this economy. So it's not very bad for a short hunt, to be fair. But it's not great either. I mean, some hunts I can bring back almost a gold coin if I do like a long hunting session and maybe hit like a couple of areas, or maybe I even hit like there's like some dungeons underneath that have a lot more things to kill, a lot of more evil undead, mages, blah blah blah. But now we only did the surface. So and I think I did some hunting there before, right? So and then I had a rest time in the tavern. So here you can use like these are some magical, they call it like a peculiar item. For mage characters, they can see what these are. Because my character is not a mage, he can't see what these are. But he can recycle them. Like there's this little industrial grinder here by the foundry. As I said, the foundry has like, in a way, they have electricity. They have like a steam engine. They have a couple steam engines here that I can actually show you. And using this power, this is some unknown device. I love how it's this unknown device. So this is actually a steam engine. Like it's a coal generator. How about that? So there's like, so they have like electricity, and using the electricity, they're running this grinder in the back that you can use to like grind stuff that you find that is not useful. Like it might be loot that you want to just turn into, I don't know, like essential parts, or like get the metal out of it. You just throw it in there and you recover a little bit. And so from magical items, you recover this funky infused particulate that you can use to then have some other mage type make you like some augments or some stuff to improve your weapons. Let's say I'll show you, like there's like this option here where you can augment your weapon. And I have one augment that is doing a lot more area effect damage. So there's a chance every so often in an attack that you attack also all the targets around you as well, not just the target that you are currently attacking, which is pretty cool. So I'm collecting this dust, and eventually, I don't know, I'm gonna try to maybe get one of those mage types to, even though interacting with mages in this game by itself is actually risky. So you don't want to be seen interacting with a mage. What else should I drop here? Okay, I think we're good. We can have some food finally. Cool. And you see that you also recover grit by also eating food. So if you're out in the middle of nowhere, there are some food types that give you a lot of grit. Like each one has like a number. This like gives you 1,000, which is very good. This is like 800, but it also gives you like HP, intelligence, and stuff like that. And this is all like food items that are, especially nutritious, so to speak. So they give you a lot more benefit than just keeping your character alive. Because you can also like what I do is like if my character is really hungry, like I will eat more basic food to keep him alive. But if I'm planning to like go hunting and stuff like that, I want to be using some food that's super helpful to my character's fighting style, which is to be using more dexterity. HP is also helpful in all characters, but this build, because he's like archer / polearms, he's very much like a dexterity fighter. So you want something that gives your character a bit more dexterity, and that's going to make your character's fighting ability quite a bit better. But also, like if you plan on going on a hunting trip and you're going to be out hunting for a very long time, it's very beneficial to you to have food like that in your back, and then you can go on a much longer hunting trip without having to come back to town for your character to rest and recover his constitution and be able to like withstand the wrath of the wild, so to speak. Okay, we don't need any more water. That's fine. We have survived this day. We have survived this evil night in the world of Eden, or as I call it, Diablo. So if you want to play Diablo on the cheap, well, welcome aboard. As I say, all you have to do as Damon is to learn how to roleplay, and to just roleplay your character and well, in the end, this is gonna give you another dimension that you may have not considered in gaming, which is like going much deeper into storytelling and creating the story rather than just consuming the story in most of the RPG games. Let's say, like one of my favorite role-playing games is The Witcher, and in The Witcher you have a story that is pre-written for you, where all the outcomes of playing as The Witcher are already kind of there, and I mean you do influence the game by the options that you make. I mean, playing here is much like that, but the options are kind of unlimited. The options are as open as what is possible to happen in this world, and as what can be supported by the reality of this world in a way. So anything can happen that is, off this world that you live in, and whenever you have a question if something is possible or not, and whether you want to have like a contribution in a way to the creativity of this world, you can actually open your case with the game masters and to see if it's possible to do a particular kind of research with your character and to bring in a new ability in the game. What? Yes, you can actually introduce new ideas in the game. So there's a process, and there's a process for you to do so. There's a process for you to contribute a new imaginative fantasy idea that fits into this game, that your character and you as the player, you bring into this game and you integrate and you contribute to the story of this game. And then this becomes part of reality in the game, and also what the characters do become part of history. Like all of the history in this game was actually to a large degree done by players that played in different parts of the game, in different, as they call, different chapters. And all this now is kind of like it makes up all the history of the game, that some of which you can read as you're writing your first character, and you can base your character on it. But even after you submit your character, you can go back and kind of read, you can read the current storyline, and you can read, and there's a new chapter actually coming up soon. Like there's the chapter that we'll live in, and there's many chapters before that kind of contribute to present day. I think my zoom is too, yeah, if you zoom in too much, you break a page. So yeah, there's so much background to this game, and the really cool thing is that by joining, you then start to shape the world to a much large degree compared to other games that are out there. Okay, sure, the graphics are not like Diablo, right? Okay, you can see that it's much more retro. It's much more cartoony a little bit, but in a dark setting. But there's also benefits to that. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's I don't know. Like it's something that to a lot of people that are used to retro games or used to be playing this kind of games a long time ago, it's something that's very familiar and relaxing, and a little bit more predictable. Like, because here you have kind of a predictable way that the world is. You see that it's 3D, but it's isometric 3D, right? So it has its own kind of logic about it, and you have all these tiles. And you see, I'm moving my mouse around, I'm activating all these different tiles, and you can query whatever you look at. What is this? Okay, this is a wall sconce, or this is a wall, or this is like a candle. Oh, and some things actually have a description, and you can be like, oh, shit, this has a description, and actually I didn't ever click on this before. I'm going to discover something new. The candle holder is inscribed with the following text: in memory of Ann Thomas, tavern cook, aspiring brewer, and friend. Written by Goldleaf, 4th of 1325, Flower Bloom, 13 1347. So that's the you know, her birth and death, I guess. And there's like just a little hidden gem that just randomly happened to click on and read the description. Like, oh, all right. So how are we doing in Constitution? Maybe I'll just take you around. We're just gonna go around the town. Oh yeah, I'm already fully constituted or whatever. My grid is at its max, so we can get out of the tavern and just check out the town. And one of the areas in the town. Oh, actually, I can show you in the map. Move this. Okay, so there's the Crafter's Hall. So there's the library. There is an actual library. And get wow, there's a lot of books there, so you can actually read so much about the game from inside the game. And this is what I love about this place, because I mean, you don't want to just be reading, you know, a website, right? But although this brings you up to the website, because the character that wrote this book is a character who is a pirate that turned himself into a priest. So he's like a retired pirate, drunkard, priest. And he speaks like a pirate, and so he's doing ceremonies in the game. And if you're lucky, you can like get on the game when this guy has a ceremony. You'd be like, holy shit, this is interesting, right? And this character wrote a whole set of books called The Path of the Eight Virtues, which is like a very, very central to the religion inside of this game. And it's kind of like a religion that's kind of like Christian, but not really Christian, so kind of like sun god religion. And you can like read this through this whole thing in the game. I'm not gonna do this now. I'm just, you know, kind of showcasing a little bit. And there's a ton of other books that you can just explore, right? So this is about basically the medical stuff. So it's like humoral theory about the juices of the body, so to speak. And then there's like a whole bunch of other medical books. So study of blood, minor corporeal injuries, and so on and so on and so on. And you can find so many books on so many different topics and kind of discover the game through the game, which is really cool in my opinion. I'll show you actually that one other very nice hidden away gem is the museum, which I'm a little disappointed the museum is in the back there. I mean, I didn't even know the museum existed for a while. Yes. But the museum is a great way for a new player to find out about the world by playing the game. And I think that's a very cool thing. Instead of, you know, just being stuck on the website and like reading through all the, you know, the Hall of Wisdom and all the background. Like, there's a lot of stuff to read out here. You can just go to the museum and be like, okay, let's read about the game through the game from players who have written about the game, about the world, and not just the staff that helped kind of build all the background story that's available on the website. So you can actually let's take you to the museum. So as a new player, you will start in this exact position. I think you will start here, which is like, it's like you're coming in from your trip and you're coming up to the gates. So you start right up here in the gates and you're like, holy shit, oh, there's some gates, there's some buildings outside. So you can just walk right in here and take your first left, and that takes you to the hospital. That is often manned by actual player doctors that are plying their trade. If you get injured, you can just hit this, you can ring this bell, which lets the doctors know that there's a new patient, and you can wait there for a doctor to come check you out and see what you have injured yourself with, and to figure out how they can help you heal. And each injury has its own specific kind of effects. Oh, so I almost missed this exit. See how it's not very easy to find this. So this is the inn. And right behind the inn is this bridge that takes you to this cute little area. And here is like a bathhouse. And right behind the bathhouse is a museum. So I think, yeah, this is a museum right here. And there's like a clerk. The museum receptionist. Well, can this guy do anything? Nah, he's just there. He's just there doing his job, so to speak. So there's no extra functionality. So this bathrooms is like a proper design, like an old cannon. And there's like a whole bunch of other stuff. Like you can just explore. There's like, who's messaging me again? You can explore the museum bits. But here, there's so much about the history of this world, and you can just interact with it, and a lot of it has like written stories, and there's like, I think there's like 3 or 4 floors in this museum that gives you the history of tobacco. Oh my goodness, presented by the Foundry. So in this world, tobacco, well, it's kind of funny because it's similar to how it went down in the real world. So you have like some corrupt doctor in the game that is in the pockets of the tobacco industry, and he's saying that tobacco is good for you, and it's doctor approved, and that's why tobacco has gotten pretty popular in the game right now. So you see a lot of characters that are smoking their cigars and cigarettes and so on. So now there's like a little museum piece that's like focused on the history of tobacco, and it says, when the Western territories were liberated by the victorious armies of Decus, which is like a kind of like a god figure, like a Jesus figure in the game. Uses came east. Tobacco stores were liberated righteously by the Cusin armies. It is known that tobacco stimulates the parts of the body that contribute to one's humors. Its effect runs across the entire body except in those topical applications. Tobacco is also known to have sedative and calming effects in large quantities, especially to people who are not habitual users. Better your health by visiting the Foundry General Store to pick up a pack of Foundry Select cigarettes today. Alright, I'm not in favor of smoking, but this is so funny. I mean, it's kind of like almost too realistic. And so many players picked up smoking in the game, and my character is not with them because my character grew up in the forest. It's like, no, this is not what you use fire for. You use fire to keep warm. Use fire to survive. You don't inhale fire. This makes no sense for my character. So there's books on, the future of tobacco. History of epidemics. Natura Celestum. I don't remember what these words mean in Latin, but it's probably some medical books. But right next to the medical books, you see like the book on the book on tobacco being like a medically approved substance. It's ridiculous. So theocracy and superstition. Oh my goodness, I didn't expect to find this book here. Classic Tales of Eden, Virtue Beyond Grave 1, Virtue Beyond Death 2, Tale of Honesty, Tale of Humility, Screaming, Mr. Decant. I have no idea. I have no idea what these are. I've never read them so far. There's so much to do in this game. Holy shit. Oh, this is like some info on the Ashwalkers that we were previously attacking. Some politics, critical reflection of the Great Abandonment. Reconciliation Summit, blah blah blah. History, geography. Map of First Province. Rise and fall of the Brotherhood. Porfair. A brief history of Briar's Hall. Briar's Hall is a whole area that, I don't know, like all I can say is that something's happened to it and it's no longer inhabited really by living people, and it's like full of undead. Maybe there's some living people left there, but not that many. And the whole part of the town is just full of undead and stuff. So there's some history to be found out. Oh, there's a new arrival handbook. How about that? slightly creased, repairs to a blank side, mostly two edges, tiny ink library stamp to foot a blank side, new garden library. Slightly trimmed and just touching the arms to top, margin pale age browning, otherwise a good copy. The cover reads New Arrival Handbook, with the author's name written neatly on the title page. This text was originally from New Dardane, one of the end-of-the-world colonies written sometime in 1330s. It was later found aboard a shipwreck believed to have sunk in 1335 in the first province on the 14th of Warmwind, 1347. So, you double-click this and you actually get a book written by some Elijah of many surname. Many surname. I had so many surnames, I didn't bother writing them down. Okay. Welcome to New Dardan colonists. Since you have found your way to this book, it is evident that you have explored the town some. In the pages within, you will be given the basic knowledge that will make your stay on the colonies more pleasant. First, I would like to provide you with a list of the tools that you will be needing. You will be needing a mug, a water pitcher to keep yourself hydrated, along with you obviously need to keep yourself well fed. Tools such as scissors or dagger and cooking pans come in handy too. You should always keep bandages with you at all times. Places of interest. There are 5 main places of interest or the New Dardan residence. These places are the tavern, the church, the apothecary, the community farming areas, and the foundry market. The first place of interest is the tavern, which seems to have become the focal meeting for colonists. The tavern is on the east side of town next to the legionary fort. Next, you will have the church, which will be your center for all spiritual concerns. Follow the 8 and your stay will be blessed. So this is like a religious thing that people say that are after like 8 angels, or I forget the story right now, but you can read it on the website. You can locate the church on the most northwestern part of town. The apothecary is another important establishment of New Dardane. Here you can be treated for whatever wound or pain may ail you. Should you come into contact with any sickness, you should immediately report to the apothecary for treatment or to be burned. The area is designated for the community farming projects. You can find these farms on the most southeastern and southwestern parts of the island. Here you'll be able to harvest wheat, hay, carrots, turnips, garlics, onions, and any other basic needs such as cotton. Next to the farms, which are located on the northeast of town, is the animal pen. Here you will be able to locate wool and milk. Finally, the foundry marketplace. Here you'll be able to find any of your material needs. Should you not find whatever you need, then here you will surely meet someone who can get it. Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, there's a ton of vendors in the market that you can also like hire a vendor from an agent, and you can load it up with stuff to sell for other people to buy. And this is like a way to always, be trading when you're not on the game. And it keeps the market alive and it keeps, needs met. So it's a good idea. The names are Anketim, who is the resident blacksmith, and Randy, who is the resident tailor. Should you not be able to find a good at market in gold, you may be able to work out a deal. Hello? Oh, with the merchant by exchanging goods or services. This is the best route for colonists, as gold is hard to come by. Unless you are a rogue and you can mint gold. Well, first you have to find gold to mine, and then you can make your own gold. Lastly, I'll leave you with a list of new arrivals you need to know. All magic is strictly controlled by the consortium. Failure to properly register with the consortium may have grave results. Mockery of the church is not acceptable and will be punished. The militia and the legionnaire will be keeping the peace in the New Dardan. Please help them by being good colonists. The foundry now offers contracts to slay creatures which threaten the Republic. Report all sickness to the nearest authority. Known symptoms of the torment: itchy skin, uncontrollable anger, and screaming, bleeding from the eyes, loss of control of limbs, Severe headache. Should you have any of these symptoms, have them treated as soon as possible. Faith heals all wounds. A press mark in the back of the book marks this as property of the Ancestry Treasure Museum. Of course, should someone try to steal it. And there's another floor, and then I think there's also like a top floor. Oh yeah, I remember correctly. Yeah, there's quite a few floors. Should I go into this? Should I leave it for you to explore? There's so much story behind every item. I'll leave some of it for. Let's go pretend to have a bath with our character. This is roleplay after all. And he's been muck deep in blood and guts and stuff. Let's go in there. This is like the bathroom, right? There's like a changing. Where's my full armor? I can just undress. I mean, you can drag every item. Just have some scripts to save the mouse work. So now your character is just wearing some underpants, and that is it. So there's like a bathhouse area, and there's like this little bath that you just can go in, and your character can just like pretend to be showering and stuff and cleaning up his stinky armpits after a long day of fighting. So let's swish around, get the stink from all the places, and then you can like pretend have a massage in here. There's like a bathhouse masseuse, and you can just pretend to have a massage. This is pretending to do stuff is a bit of roleplay, and right now, I mean, it's just by yourself, but you can do this with your friends and come to the bathhouse for like a cleanup after a long hunt, and just shoot the shit and like talk about, oh shit, I should probably go back in there and dress before walking out to the street, otherwise probably someone's gonna find me for indecent exposure. Alright, so with our full kit back on, we can go explore some more. There's some drag addicts over there. You probably don't want to mess with that crowd. How do I get... Oh, right. This is a nice little hidden away player tavern. Right now, most people are not here, but it's a nice area to hang out and roleplay with other people and just shoot the shit and find out what's happening in town. I think they also have like donation chests, and you can get some items for free. People just put in what they don't need and they take what they need, basically, kind of idea. There's a whole bunch of stuff to pick through. I'm not going to do that. I don't need it. My character is rather well developed. Like right now, he got someone to make him a new bow that maybe can be his main weapon. I also need at some point to get a new halberd made out of steel. It's much more durable and I think also a bit faster. Maybe it does more damage, I'm not sure. But it depends how well it's done. It depends on what augments you use on top of it. So you can improve your weapons and armor quite a bit. And yeah, there's a lot of things that you can do on top of like a basic weapon, including like some kind of like magical augmentations and stuff like that. So this is my favorite spot to chill in the tavern, waiting for people to come by to roleplay. Let's see. Oh, holy shit! I've been streaming for almost 4 hours. Do you guys have any questions or any like I don't know? Do you want me to like showcase any more stuff? Because I'm thinking of like like taking a break, going to eat something. Maybe we can grade someone while real life takes over again. Who should we grade? If you guys have any questions, if you want me to showcase something, do let me know. Otherwise, I'm just gonna try to find someone to raid. Maybe someone playing Diablo, because it kind of fits the it fits the scene of this game very much. But I can't find anyone playing Diablo right now. Star Citizen, I'm not sure you're. Oh shit! I don't know if you'd be interested in watching Star Citizen. Like, I would be interested in watching Star Citizen. If you Star Citizen is an amazing game. One of the most expensive. One of the most expensive backed games out there, which is also a bit of a point of contention, is how much money players have put in to create this game, and this game is still in development, and still so many features are being added to it. So I think I'm gonna raid Salty Mike, because I also want to watch him while I eat. And thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to follow if you like this kind of content. And I can take you through another playthrough very soon. All right, let me find the raid thingy. Okay, where is this? Channels I follow. Why can't I select Salty Mike? One second. Salty. I have to type this. Okay, there we go. Okay, guys, so thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna send you over to Salty Mike to enjoy a bit of Star Citizen. So going from around like 1600 in this game, we're going straight into the future to, enjoy like sci-fi where everything is possible. Like one of the most complex games aside from Ultima Online that this game is based on, and EVE Online, is Star Citizen.